Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest live show of all time. That is right, everybody. Today we're doing another episode of whatever the hell this is. That's right. I'm so excited. With that being said, I hope you're all doing well. We're doing a debate stream today. It's going to be very laid back. This is the third stream I've done today in a row, and we're doing call-in debates. They're going to be very calm. So the way that it's set up is essentially the Discord link is in the description. We have manual verification, but I'll verify people that join very leniently for this stream, and maybe for others. So if you join during the stream, that means you're obviously watching some of my content, even if this is the first stream. And with that being said, we also have a rule, okay, which is that if you donate $20 or more, you can request to kick the person. Now, if you donate $20 specifically, I'm probably going to assume that you want me to kick them. So clarify if you want me to kick them or not kick them, especially if you donate in $20 increments. For other dollar amounts, again, for dollar amounts more than that, I'll assume, like if it's not exactly $20, that you're not trying to kick them. However, if you want me to, clarify. Again, $20 or more equals I kick the caller and move on to the next one. So that's sort of the rule. I also forgot to create the poll. So before I say hello to everybody, we're going to do a poll, which is, have you liked the stream yet? And then obviously we have to include the two genders, which is yes and also yes. And with that being said, hello Phantom, congratulations on being the first person in chat. Hello IDK. Hello Fran Crack. Hello Anon420 Serial. Hello Demenis. Hello Ona Yoshiyahu. Hello Nicholas Queener. Hello Nomi. It's 4:42. I see. You're an hour off, my friend. My time zone is right, yours is wrong. Yeah, exactly. It's 3:42. Duh. It's 7:42. My time zone's correct. No. Central time, objectively correct. Anyone else is lying. Anyways, let's see here. Where was I going with this? Oh, right. We're doing a debate stream. Now, with that being said, I have to go into the thingy. Oh, wow. Very specific, clearly. Oh, wow. My hair is a mess, as per usual. Unsurprising. What can I say? You know, it has a tendency to do that. With that being said, I gotta go on Discord now and to join the channel known as On the Air. Yes, I know. So, with that being said, dude, I just got a DM from somebody saying, not gonna lie, debate stream at 5 a.m. goes crazy. It sure does. And if you would like to debate me, remember, join the Discord server. It's in the description. I'll put an invite link in chat. Okay? It'll be in chat. The greatest invite link of all time. There you go. I'll manually verify you. So if you want to debate me, say something in chat. Say something in chat. Okay? And we'll get started, okay? I'll keep an eye on members. Okay. So, we have one new member since. Okay, so 22 minutes ago. Okay, this person joined. Okay, I think I know who that is. Oh, yeah. They said that they were going to join. Debate RJ. Well, if you wanted to debate me, make sure to join the waiting room, and I will drag you into the thingy. That's right, the thingy. I know, I'm so descriptive. So descriptive. But in the meantime, I may as well, debate chat or something. I don't know. Maybe I should just change my name tag to Yoshiona. I don't know what that means or why you would change it to that, but that's true. You can do that. Claim you're a bottom? No, that's not true. Anyways. No, I don't have hair extensions. That's just my hair. I just grew it out. Debate, is smoking cigarettes inside ethical? As long as it's not bothering anybody, yeah, I don't see why not. If it's bothering people, then yeah, no, it's probably unethical because you're causing a net harm. Like whatever amount of good that you would get from smoking inside would be a something that is superseded by the fact that, cigarette smoke is not pleasant to smell. So if there's like a bunch of people around you that don't want to smell it, then like that, the net harm to them is going to be far greater than any net positive you could possibly derive from that personally. Anyways, admit it, you're not a woman. Well, you can debate me on that if you want. If you want to debate me on transgenderism or whatever, but join the server. It's in the description. Okay, we don't have anybody in the waiting room yet. I'm hoping for people to join the waiting room. All right, I will. Let me make sure it's not one of those things where I have to refresh it for it to say that there's new. Okay, I don't think it is. Look, the fact that thing is in the description. If you want me to verify you, let me know. Say what your Discord username is in the chat if you're in the server. Okay. It's in the description, isn't it? Let's see. Only two genders fight me? Yeah. Go in the... So you see how in the description... oh my god, my voice is like dying. Maybe this isn't in the stream where I should debate. It says debate me here and then a Discord link. Yeah, you'll want to join that. And then you can debate me. Whoa. Wow. What? Crazy. Oh man. But I haven't seen anybody join the whatchamacallit thingy. Oh, alright. Somebody's in the waiting room. Good. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back. Remember,
Thank
chat.
you. I'm back.
Before I welcome you back, remember, chat, $20 equals kicking caller, okay? Per the request of the person donating for us. 20 or more.
I might have more luck doing this during the day. It's getting kind of late.
It's okay. I'm also tired. I haven't gotten any sleep. I'm very sleep deprived.
I also just kind of didn't really want to debate too much. Just say thanks for having me earlier.
Yeah, of course. I had a good time. Was there
The
anything you wanted
last
to
thing
debate?
I was gonna say about the tax rates and stuff. I mean, wouldn't that, like, let's say we tried to take a bunch of Bezos's money or raise his tax rates, like what's preventing him from like going to like a Swiss bank or a different country, or like, because like UAE has no taxes, there's Swiss banks, like he could like take his money and take it to another country. Whereas if he leaves the money here, at least there's a chance it'll, go to workers here.
Well, we ought to have laws that prevent that, right? Because if it's the case that we don't, they're going to do that no matter what the tax rate is, as long as there's somewhere that has lower taxes, correct?
They're also going to do that regardless of the laws too, because the laws don't apply to other countries.
Yes, but ideally we'd be able to penalize them here. Now, mind you, that this is something that rich people already have a tendency to do, regardless of what the taxes are. So no matter what they're being taxed, if it's more than another country, if they can get more profit, if they can hoard more wealth through maintaining it in another country, they will do that, regardless. It doesn't matter whether or not the income tax that they have, and it's not just going to be income tax, because oftentimes what you'll notice is it's not really income that makes them wealthy, as so much as it is what they have in investments, stocks, etc. But fact of the matter is, this isn't like something that like they start doing but don't already do, is what I'm trying to tell you.
And I think that, between like Russia, China, and America, because those countries are all similar sizes, like let's include India, Russia, China, America, similar populations, similar sizes. Let's not mention any smaller countries right now that have like 50 million or less people.
Okay.
I feel like America is the better place to live out of all four of those that I listed.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. That's what I think.
Okay. I mean,
for the amount of freedoms we have, the quality of life.
Yeah, I agree that America is better. I think this is just like this isn't particularly relevant to the previous thing we were talking about. But if you want to move on to that, I mean, like, I don't really disagree that, like, yeah, America is going to be a lot better living than a lot of other countries. I mean, I don't think anybody disagrees with that, to be fair.
I think a lot of Americans are more spoiled than they think, because like even poor people have like electricity, running water, access to food stamps, food banks, like
sometimes they do.
Section 8 housing.
Sometimes they do. It's not the case that all of them do, right? Again, if you just like walk around in the city, you're going to see people that are nothing but skin and bones, right? So you're going to see.
I mean, that happens, but there's a lot higher
Yeah,
rates of
why does that
starving in
happen?
other countries
Well, yeah, obviously it's going to
because
be
they
worse in
haven't
other
been
countries,
eating
but that
that
doesn't.
much food.
Well,
They
yeah, but that
haven't been
doesn't
eating enough
justify.
food.
Yeah, but that obviously doesn't mean that there's nothing we can do to make things better in our country, right? Like two things can be true at once. Like it can be true that starving children in Africa generally have it worse than Americans. That's true. It is a lot worse to live in the countries where starving children in Africa are. However, at the same time, that doesn't mean that there's nothing we can do to fix existing issues in America, right?
That we can always make things better. America's not perfect.
Yeah, I agree. I think that most people can agree that things can be better. I don't think anybody disagrees on that, quite frankly.
And I think America's amazing because we have the ability to, pass new laws, try to make things better than they were.
Except
I
Trump
think there's
wants
times
to
where we can go back and fix
except
things.
except Trump wants to remove the ability for people to do things to better the country, such as being able to advocate for things that are good, since he's anti-free speech. And I mean, we already went over this. We don't need to go in a circle. We talked about this last stream, which was within like the last hour.
I don't know. I just feel like Trump's doing a pretty good job
At
at serving as the office of the president.
Well, that's just not true. I mean, we've already established how anti-American he is. I mean, we could go back to that argument that we went over before in the previous stream if you want, where we talk
I mean,
about
I
all of
don't.
the unconstitutional shit that he does, violating the first, second, and fifth amendment. Oh, and also his supporters seem to be in favor of. I'm not sure if he's explicitly stated that he's in favor of violating the 22nd Amendment, but his supporters certainly are. Well, but not all of his supporters, but a lot of his supporters are in favor of him getting a third term, which would be a violation of the 22nd Amendment.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. There's this huge argument on the left that's very speculative of like this might happen.
No, no,
Trump
no. That's not
says he might
speculative. That's what
try
his
to do
supporters.
this.
No, a good chunk of his supporters are saying that they want him to do that. And when we're quote unquote speculating about what Trump is going to do, it's not us speculating. It's like him saying that he's going to do a thing, and us speculating as to whether or not he's going to be able to do it, but us also criticizing him for wanting to do the bad thing in the first place. So while it is true that there's a good chance he won't be able to pass a law that bans all trans people from accessing firearms, it's fucking scary that he wants to get to that point in the first place. Why is it the case that on the basis of an immutable characteristic, that someone ought to be barred from having a right that is given to them in the Constitution? Why should being trans make the Constitution apply less to me? It is ridiculous. And if they're willing to do that for the Second Amendment, what do you think they're going to do with all the other amendments? It's not like Trump has a good track record with the First Amendment either, for instance, or the Fifth Amendment for that matter. I mean, again, I brought up this example in the previous stream, but I'll bring it up here for any of the new viewers. If we take a look at the Palestinian protesters that are being arrested and deported without due process under Trump's administration, it's not looking good for free speech.
There's no protesters that have been deported.
Well, that's not true.
Are you talking about Mahmoud Khalil, or
I think that's one of them.
was he deported?
I don't remember the particulars of that case. I know that there was. I know I looked into it briefly, and yeah, there were people that were deported over it. But I don't know. This wasn't like a. I think I brought this up as like a brief point. I mean, we could Google it if you want. But
He hasn't been deported yet.
oh, yet. Okay, so
They
he's
wanted
going to
him
be deported. Okay, sorry.
I think
Minor
it's a legal
discrepancy.
battle where he's going to end up staying because he had that green card for a year
Yeah,
already.
and who
before this
wants him to
came
be
out.
deported? Which people want him to be deported?
Well, originally, it was Marco Rubio because he got pressure
Hmm.
from the Israeli side.
Okay. Is he a Republican or a Democrat?
Marco Rubio, the Secretary of
Mm-hmm.
State.
I know the answer, by the way. It's a rhetorical question. He's obviously a Republican. Um, Additionally, it doesn't seem to be the case that Trump disagrees with that. Doesn't Trump agree with what Marco Rubio is doing there?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't
You don't
matter to me
know?
that much.
Well, it
Because
seems
if
very
this
in
is the
line
only
with
case
Trump's
of it and
agenda.
it's such a big deal, I know it's not widespread.
Mm,
Same
I
thing
think
with
that I think
the
that people
Abrego
being censored by
Garcia.
right-wing politicians is a very big deal. I think that our free speech being violated is a huge deal. It's not just like big tech censorship anymore. No, no, no. And I've been somebody that's an advocate against big tech censorship, even when it was disproportionately negatively affecting right wingers. I was saying that big tech censorship is bad. But guess what? It's not just big tech censorship anymore. It is the government deciding what you are and aren't allowed to say. And again, this is why I brought up the example of Trump trying to censor Jimmy Kimmel. Sure, Jimmy Kimmel is not particularly entertaining. He's kind of unfunny, but he should be allowed to have a platform and voices grievances against Trump. That's part of free speech. And
Yeah,
if you,
it's
on the
free
basis
speech.
of not wanting to be criticized, are saying that you want the government to intervene and prevent you from being able to have that free speech, that is a violation of the First Amendment.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, it's such a big deal. Same with the flag burning thing, you know.
Yeah, Trump wanting to ban
But
flags
you can
being
see
burned.
why Trump wanted to bring about those two issues.
No, I can't see, because I'm not a fascist. I can't
Because
empathize with the notion that you should be able to just, as the president, just ban free speech. No, there's nothing
No,
I can empathize with there, because if I
that
was the
he
president, I
he
wouldn't do those
never
things.
tried to
I
ban
wouldn't.
free speech.
Well, he tried to infringe upon free speech. Does that clarification help? Sure, he's not banning every aspect of free speech. No, but he is doing things. He's in favor of doing things that would infringe upon people's free speech. Because at the end of the day, he wants to
Just Jimmy
ban
Kimmel.
speech. He wants to ban speech that he doesn't like.
Just Jimmy Kimmel in that case.
Oh,
Or the
just
people
Jimmy
that were
Kimmel?
burning flags and causing riots, which
Oh,
was
causing
causing people to get
riots?
hurt. Yeah.
Oh. No, that's not what it was. It was he wanted
Those
to
two
ban
things
flags,
are
period.
the reasoning behind it, essentially.
Well,
It's not like
those
he
are
was trying to
reasons.
ban free speech,
Oh.
like, completely. Like,
Oh,
across
not
the
completely,
board.
just partially. No, he just wants to ban the people
Just
that he
in those two
disagrees with.
instances.
No, he wants to ban
Just
people
those
he disagrees with. Notice how he doesn't want to take away the free speech of people that he agrees with? Why do you think that is?
Well, free speech is there to protect the opposition speech.
Uh-huh. And is he
Yeah.
protecting his opposition speech, or is he trying to take it away?
Well, in the case of Jimmy Kimmel, he had the FCC pressure ABC in that case, right? They were weighing
So
the
his goal
ratings.
was to take it away, obviously.
Okay, Trump was whining about Jimmy Kimmel making fun of him all the time. That was his reasoning.
Yes.
And believing that it could be seen as an illegal arm of the
No,
Democratic
it
National
wasn't
Convention.
illegal. Nobody thought it was
It wasn't.
illegal.
No, exactly.
No one thought it
9
was
of the
illegal.
Supreme
Trump
Court
didn't
justices
believe
said
it
he
was
in the
illegal.
wrong.
Yeah. Trump didn't believe it was illegal either. He wanted to disingenuously use the government to censor speech against him. So he is one of the most anti-free speech presidents, period.
I have a question for you. Okay, so there was the case where he tried to infringe on Jimmy Kimmel and then the Supreme Court blocked him. So that makes him the worst free speech president ever. What about the other 99% of the time where he said free
No.
speech was fine?
Well, his policy positions seem to disagree with that. What policy positions has he posed that defend free speech of his opposition? Or even in a broad sense?
Well, that's why these things get brought up when they happen, because they're a big deal.
Oh, interesting. So he's done nothing to defend free speech and has done everything in his power to suppress his opposition. Very interesting. But he's not
But he
anti-free
hasn't
speech.
succeeded in doing any of that, has
Oh,
he?
but he hasn't. So because he hasn't succeeded, that means he isn't a fascist that opposes the First Amendment? That doesn't make any sense. Just because he's not successful at being a fascist doesn't make him not a fascist. This is such a ridiculous argument.
Just because someone throws an idea out there that doesn't end up happening.
No, it's not just throwing the idea out there. It's not just like a what
done.
if we took away free speech. It is an active effort to suppress free speech. Those are not the same thing. It's not just like throwing an idea out there. It is making an active effort to suppress your opposition.
Okay. That's a good point.
Yeah. Okay, so you agree with me?
But I'm not saying that. Okay, so just because someone does something, doesn't like make you hate that person like completely.
No, but it's a pattern of behavior with Trump. Again, I brought it up before and I'll bring it up again.
He's entertaining, and
I don't care that he's entertaining. That doesn't have anything to do with his policy positions. Yeah, that's great and all, but that's irrelevant. I don't care.
It gets people to look into things like like someone who's young, doesn't know anything about politics, they see Trump trying to ban Jimmy Kimmel and then say, "Oh, the Supreme Court that he put in place says that infringes free speech."
Yeah, that just makes
Wow,
Trump look like a
that's how our
fucking moron.
government works. It
No,
shows
it just
people that
makes
that's
it
how our
shows people
government has
that
checks
Trump
and
is a fucking
balances.
it shows people that Trump is a fucking moron that was trying to censor free speech, where it was so
I
egregiously
guess you
bad to the
could look
point where
at it that way.
even his own justices that he appointed personally are saying that it was too far. That's how ridiculous he was being, right? That's how ridiculous and fascistic it was.
That's, so just because, like, have you ever done something bad in the past? That doesn't mean I'm going to stop liking you because you did it.
There's a difference between doing something bad in the past and being best friends with known pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, hiding the Epstein files because you're guilty as fuck. There's a difference between, oh, you did something bad in the past, versus being a pedophile or rapist who
First of all,
is also a fascist that aims to ban our free speech, that tried to overthrow the government in 2020, claiming that the election was stolen, inciting his sycophants to fucking storm the Capitol.
he thought the election was rigged. It was only off by
No,
like
he didn't.
10,000 votes in
No,
Georgia at
he
one
didn't think
point.
it was rigged. He was lying through his teeth. I hate to break
Plus,
it to you, but people like him have a tendency to lie. There's a reason that he was trying to get, Mike Pence to agree with him, not just agree with him, but sign off on fraudulent electorate votes. And the
it
only
was
good
also
thing that I can think
suspicious with all the mail-in
of
ballots and
Mike
stuff.
Pence
So
doing, there was nothing suspicious about it. What's suspicious is the fact that, despite the fact that everybody around him, at the time, for the most part, aside from his loyalists, was telling him, hey, by the way, dummy, you lost the election. He knew that he lost the election. The reason that Mike Pence didn't sign off on the fraudulent electorate vote is because at the end of the day, that despite him also being a bad person, he at the very least had the decency to not literally commit fraud in that instance.
yeah, so I believe
Minimum.
that got everyone to realize that, hey, we should just certify the results. That's fine.
But people didn't realize that. People didn't realize that his supporters started chanting "Hang Mike Pence" because of it. So no, people didn't realize that because he was inciting his own fan base
He didn't tell
to
them
go
to say
storm
that.
the Capitol. Oh, he didn't tell them to say it. Why is it the case
No,
that he didn't tell people to stop
he
until
said
the damage had already been done?
he wanted the protest to be peaceful.
Oh, well, he didn't stop them from doing anything unpeaceful until the damage had already been done. Why was that?
He tweeted for everyone to cut it out and stop 40 minutes before Ashley Babbitt got shot.
No, he told people to go home after the damage, for the most part, had been done. After he knew essentially that he wasn't going to be able to get the outcome that he wanted, essentially, which is overthrowing the government. Once he found out that he wasn't going to be able to overthrow the government, he stopped trying. That's what it was.
Well, they didn't convict him of that. So
yeah, they also didn't convict O.J. Simpson. Was he innocent because they didn't convict him?
Probably not.
No, the answer is no. So for the same reasons that just because O.J. Simpson didn't get convicted, we obviously know he's guilty. That same line of logic can be applied to Trump, right? It was just because he wasn't convicted of a crime didn't mean that doesn't mean that he didn't commit it in plain fucking sight, okay?
Okay, well, the Daily Show with Jon Stewart, which usually hates on Trump, gave him credit for ending the Gaza war yesterday. So
he didn't end the Gaza war, and this is like a liberal brain rot, okay? And what I mean by that is
exactly. Okay, so what I mean by that, they still gave him credit for it.
Well, I don't think that they should give him credit for it because at the end of the day, all they're really doing is setting Israel back to the position it was in right before October 7th, which is just going to create the same material conditions that caused violence in the first place. There's not going to be peace in the Middle East, okay? I hate to break it to you, but as long as Palestinians are treated like second-class citizens, which they are, and they will continue to be, unless something changes, which it's not going to, there's going to inevitably be violence and retaliation against the IDF. Before. No, it's not better than what we had before.
So you say we shouldn't have had the ceasefire in the hostage release just now?
What do you think? Okay, what do you think it was like before? And what do you think it's like now?
So they have a ceasefire now, and they released the hostages. And then
Okay,
Israel pulled its troops
what
out.
was, yeah, what happened before there were hostages? What was Israel like? What was the Gaza Strip like before there were hostages, before October 7th, before any of that? What was it like?
Well, in 2005, Israel just gave that whole strip of land to them, and then they
That's not
made
the
all the
question I
Jews
asked
move
you.
out.
What was it like in 2018?
I-
What was it like
It,
in 2020? What was it like in 2022? What was it like?
from
What was it like
October
3 weeks?
7th and
What was it like?
from
What was it like 3 weeks before October 7th? What do you think it was like? Do you think the
better,
Palestinians were being treated fairly?
from October 7th until now, it was worse than what
That's
you're
not the question I
describing.
asked.
It was better than it was before
That's not the
2022.
question. That's not the question I'm asking. I'm
From
not asking is it
2005,
better? Is it better? Is it better than it was? After October. I'm asking you: is it meaningfully different now than it was before in the circumstances that caused October 7th to occur in the first place? You do realize that the phrase,
I
the
think they have
phrase, the
more
phrase,
hope now for it getting better than it
they
was.
have more hope now. They had hope for
They get
years.
better than
You
it
want to know
was.
what the Israeli government did for so many years over the course of many decades is they shut down any peaceful opposition. They did so to the point where the only opposition left was controlled opposition known as Hamas, right? And why did they do that? Because that's an easy sort of narrative for them to push is, oh no, the big scary Hamas terrorists are targeting us. But the only reason that Hamas was the only group that was opposing the IDF is because the IDF had gotten rid of all of the other ones that were way more peaceful. Do you think that that's suddenly going to change now?
No, they had 3 political groups that ran for office, and Hamas is the one that won. And then the other 2 groups they were running believed in two-state solution. Hamas only
Two-state
40%
solution.
only 40%
What
of Hamas
about
believed in
a
two-state.
one-state solution where Palestinians aren't second-class citizens? Have we considered that?
Well, there's lots of people that have both a green card and a blue card in Israel.
How about we make it so that Palestinians don't have to worry about a green card versus a blue card? How about we have it so that they're treated like citizens, first-class citizens, even the way that Israeli citizens are, so that they can.
Nothing wrong with that.
And who do you think is in favor of that? Do you think that the IDF is in favor of that?
I think that if the Palestinians had a decent leader, they could work on something like that with Israel.
Oh, it's the Palestinians' fault that the IDF won't give them basic human rights. Interesting.
I don't know.
You don't know.
They have a very complicated history. They've done terror attacks.
There's nothing
this.
complicated about saying that the IDF should, the Israeli government should explicitly make it so that Palestinians are first-class citizens the same way that Israeli citizens are. That the Palestinians were there first, mind you. So there's no reason why they wouldn't qualify. Like there's no reason that they were fucking born there. So why should they be treated like second-class citizens? There's no justification for it.
But we don't live there or grow up with that. They all have their different opinions on that. Like how
That's
Jordan
awesome.
and Egypt doesn't
I
even
don't
want
care.
the Palestinians.
Yeah, that's awesome that the other people have different opinions. That doesn't change the reality of the matter. Yeah, people can have wrong opinions about all sorts of dumb shit. That doesn't magically justify doing a genocide in Gaza. That doesn't magically justify doing an ethnic cleansing. And it also doesn't justify the material conditions that led up to October 7th.
There's good Jews and there's bad Jews.
What does that have to do with the argument I just made? Is this live? Yes. And chat, if you want me to kick the caller, $20. With a request so that I know, of course. Anyways, sorry, I just had to advertise myself or whatever.
Donate
and $20. Oh, and if I kick a caller for $20 and you want me to bring them back, $20 more. So if you're a caller, stay in the waiting room if you want to come back on, Somebody might donate 20. You never know.
About $10.
No, it would have to be equal, right?
Anyway, you know who Yasser Arafat is, the Palestinian leader from up until 2004, I guess.
No.
He kind of ushered in the whole Palestinian thing, and I believe, I don't know. They have a
What is
long
the whole
history.
Palestinian thing? I know they have a long history,
There,
but
there's some Jewish
the long
settlers that are
history,
pretty
yeah,
like
the
racist.
long history just makes Israel look really fucking bad.
It looks bad on both sides, though. When you go back, like,
No, it doesn't. It looks bad
what
on
about
Israel.
what about like the 6 Day War when Egypt attacked Israel and like all
Oh,
these
but
other things, like
what about
all
this
the
other thing
countries
that
ganged
happened a
up on
long time
Israel.
ago? Yeah, but like, what about when the other countries did bad things? Okay, that doesn't make
Like,
Israel look less bad,
like,
and we're talking
like
about in the
when
context of Israel slash Palestine. So,
it's
like, I don't know what you're
so
yapping about.
so when the Egyptians were killing the Israelites and Moses had to lead his people, then there was King David and all that in the land of Israel, and then different groups took over, Ottoman Empire, British control.
Uh huh.
Uh,
British control. Interesting you
1948, we
mentioned
made a
that.
state for Israel again.
Uh huh. And what
There's a lot of
and
things
how were
before
the
that.
Palestinians accounted for during that history? What happened to them during history? During the history that
They've
you
they've
mentioned.
they've been there throughout the history too.
Uh huh. I know that they've been there. No shit. But how were they treated?
Some Jewish settlers treat them bad.
Some, just some, not the government. Just some settlers were like mean and racist.
There
Not the
there
government
were
though.
there were some terrorist attacks against some of the sites in Israel,
Why do you
so
think
then
people would
they
be
eventually had a
radicalized?
two-state
Why do you
thing
think people
going
would
on.
be radical? Like, what do you think causes somebody to be so radically against a government that they become terrorists? Do you think that happens in a vacuum?
Well, Israel was buying up their land, and some people didn't want to leave.
Buying up their land. Whose land?
Wait,
Whose
um,
land?
well, they paid a lot of money for that land. Some people
Paid
didn't
who?
want to leave.
Paid who?
The Palestinians that own the homes.
Oh, the Palestinians, right? Because the Palestinians were willing participants in their colonization, is what you're saying. Is that your opinion?
Well, well, that's better than nothing, I guess. I mean, it's.
No, they
I'm
weren't
not
willing
agreeing with
participants. I
every
don't.
little thing that Israel did that led to the
Well, I would
situation.
certainly hope not, but like it just seems like you're just like you're like an Israel defender. I don't know. It's very strange. I don't know why you feel the need to defend one of like the most abhorrent governments of all time. I don't get it.
I mean, you can look at it that way, but I mean, a lot more Ukrainians died than the amount of Palestinian children.
Okay, this is just
Same amount of
whataboutism.
time frame of the
Like,
war.
yeah, did you know that other people died? Yeah. Yeah, other people have died before. That is true.
I know it's bad, it's horrible. I don't agree with the tactics that IDF uses. However, I feel like they could have been even more brutal than what they were.
Well, that's great and all. Also, I'm just sorry if I'm like spacing out and because I'm verifying people that joined the server. So feel free to join the waiting room if you want to be next. But I just noticed that there are 5 people that have joined. With that being said, let's continue. Anyways,
I
fact
mean,
of the matter,
I'm not saying we should completely get rid of Israel. I think they should get along a lot better with Palestine. Any progress towards that is good.
yeah,
I feel like the IDF could have been a lot worse. I feel like they could have been a lot better.
yeah,
So,
that's
but it's mostly none of my business because that's their part of the world. I don't live there every day.
yeah,
I shouldn't have too much say in that part of the world. Although I
okay.
agree that killing children is wrong. I think that
Okay,
even
but
when Hamas puts
it's not
their
just killing
bases
children.
surrounded by children, when Hamas puts their bases surrounded by children, I think that's wrong on Hamas's part too. When they have
Okay.
children digging tunnels and exploiting them, that's wrong too.
Yeah. Yet nobody is
When
saying
they're
that
holding
Hamas is
food from their own
no one
people,
is
that's
justifying Hamas. No one is justifying Hamas. I don't know where this comes, but it's not a both
well,
sides
they're
thing.
a big
Palestine is
player
not
in this
Hamas.
agreement.
Yeah, okay. And why what are
Yeah,
the
not all
material conditions that
Palestinians
caused
are
Hamas to
Hamas.
be in a position of power in the first place?
They got
Do you think
voted
everyone
in
was
2005.
okay? Why did people have the desire to vote them in the first place?
that was 20 years ago. Of course, they thought Hamas was gonna be like, good and like stand up against Israel and all that.
Oh, stand up against Israel. How interesting that you mentioned that. So if they're voting for people on the basis of they believe that that's their best chance, it's standing up against Israel. What would cause them to want to stand up against Israel in the first place?
Because they don't like Jews that are being racist. I don't know.
Because they don't
Or
like Jews that
treating
are
them
being
bad.
racist? Because they're being treated badly by some Jewish people?
Yep,
That's it?
by Israel.
Not the government? Not the
They're
government,
being
though? It
they're
couldn't
being
possibly be a
treated bad
systemic issue?
by they're being
Why would...
treated bad by Jordan, Egypt, Israel. I don't know.
Okay.
They just
Uh-huh. Do
go.
you think that it might have something to do with the systemic issues that occur? Do you think that might be part of the issue?
I mean, Israel gave them Gaza in 2005. Let them have it.
Uh,
And
oh,
look what they
oh,
did
oh,
with it.
oh,
They had kids build tunnels.
uh-huh. And why is it the case that the because keep in mind it wasn't like really much of a concession. It was basically an open air prison. Let's be real. It was the
I mean,
Israeli
it
government
became that
control of
over
what got
time.
in.
To
Oh, it
I could
became
see
that
that,
over
yeah.
time. Interesting. And why did it become that over time? Is it perhaps because the Israeli government is extremely authoritarian and anti Palestinian? And maybe that might be an example of something that would build a resentment?
Okay, yeah, but that doesn't justify him going to kill a bunch of Jews on
No
October
one is
7th.
saying
Take
that
other
October 7th
hostage.
is justified. You're arguing against the voices inside your head.
Okay,
So I
well,
don't.
I mean, I could see how something like that would happen. Yeah, I think
Yeah, I'm not saying that
build,
it's justified. I'm saying this is why this happened. Here is what
making
could have been
Gaza
avoided.
better. It's
Yeah,
well, if
if Palestinians weren't being treated like second class citizens, if they weren't quite literally second class citizens in Israel, there wouldn't be a Hamas. Also,
well,
thank
there
you,
would
Wimpy,
be.
for
They
the
voted
three
him in
Australian.
2005, and
You beautiful
all
fucking
Hamas
bastard
did
saying,
was
hold on,
constantly
I gotta
tweet
read this
about
dono. I gotta read
anti-Israel.
this dono. I gotta read this dono and then take a piss, okay? So this dono is a good segue into me needing to take a piss, and then you're gonna have to entertain chat, okay? So thank you, Wimpy, for the three Australians saying you're beautiful. Hope you have an amazing day. You too. Thank you very much. I need to pee. You better entertain chat while I'm
I'm
gone.
gonna get going. Thank you, Femyoz, for having
Oh,
me.
okay. Well, how am I? No, you gotta entertain chat. I need to pee. I gotta be right back. Entertain chat and then go. Is that
Sorry,
okay?
chat.
Chat.
Chat, if you want to be the next
He
caller,
hates you.
jump in here.
He hates you. Well,
Femyoz is a good
I don't trust
debater.
because no, because I don't know who any of the people in there are, so I don't trust them to be, on stream while I'm not there, because they could just like say anything. So
You want me to go in
yeah.
the waiting room?
Well, I'm gonna be right back. I gotta pee. Entertain chat or don't. I don't know. Try to. I'm gonna be right back for like it'll be a minute. Okay.
All right, I'll see you later.
We're back. All right. Sorry. We're gonna add. Who's next? This person. Hello.
Hola.
Hola. ¿Qué pasa? Hello? You there? Hello, hello, hello?
Alright, dirty scum, liberal. This debates are kind of ass, so I'm gonna need you to get your ass on. It's like 5 in the morning, so
Okay.
hop off my
before we
For You page and go fuck
before we
yourself.
start, how, dude? You're like 12. You're not, dude. I'm all right. Oh, who was that? Oh, okay, they left. All right then. That was a good use of time. Hello. Hello, hello, hello.
Oh shoot! Hi, Femyoz.
Hello. What's up?
I don't know. I didn't even come in here to debate. I literally just came in here to show up.
Oh. Do you disagree with me on anything? It's okay if you don't.
I don't know.
Like that
Chat's
fool-
kind of funny.
I was going to, but I
I
wanted
just
to
wanted
like
them to
ask
be
him.
outnumbered for a minute. I don't know. I thought it would be funny.
Fair. No, I was gonna kick that person, but I wanted to ask them how old they were, because I wanted to like know, or like because they sounded young. I'm like, dude, are you even old enough to use Discord? But they left, so. Oh wow.
Like, was it like a child that joined?
Yeah. Well, if you agree with me on anything, I guess there's not much debate on, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, we already know each other.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna move you back to the waiting room.
Yeah, you
if
can throw me away.
All right. Sorry. No, that sounds mean. I don't like that. Now I feel bad. All right. I'm gonna do this person. They're next. Their display name is set to I'm next. So that's how I know that they're next. Okay. Hello, you're on the air. Hello, hello, hello?
Hello?
What's up? You're
For
on
some
the
reason,
air.
my shit on speaker. One sec.
Well, you got some interesting audio.
What's going on?
Oh,
What are your views? Let me hear some of your views.
On what? Like, what do you have strong opinions on?
I don't know. I just kind of want to contest you on whatever you think. Minus Israel, because that's a boring conversation I have all the time, and I genuinely just don't care anymore about it.
Thoughts on abortion?
Kind of the same thoughts. I'm a pro-lifer, but I don't think the government should have control over our body. Same thing with COVID. I guess the best way to put myself is I'm a centrist / like a centrist, independent, conservative leaning per se.
Do you have a better microphone?
I'm on my phone right now. Can you hear my fans? Is that what's going on?
It's like really loud, and I heard, I heard me echoing a few times. So, if you can, I can hear myself echoing. So, you gotta fix your audio shit, and then we can have a convo. I'm sorry, but you gotta figure out your audio stuff. So I'm gonna move on to the next caller. I'll add you back. Hopefully you have your audio fixed by then.
Wait, can you hear yourself now?
Hold on. Testing. Okay, wait. It might be fine actually. Oh, don't do whatever that is. That horrible scraping noise. Jesus. Oh, that is horrid.
Okay. Can you hear yourself or no?
Now you're muffled.
Can you hear yourself or no?
Can I hear myself? I don't think. Sometimes I hear like a little bit of an echo. It's actually better now though.
Yeah, I had my fans on. That's why. For some reason they were bouncing. I'm a centrist. I know people don't believe in that, but that's kind of where I lie.
I believe centrists exist. Some people might call it the default position, if you will. But I disagree.
I'm definitely not neutral. I'm not a neutral person. I hold values on both sides.
Thoughts on trans rights?
To what extent? Like marriage, or are we talking about like impeding on other people's belief systems? Like, for example, do you think if you disagree with religion being taught in school, do you disagree with transgender ideology being taught in school?
What is transgender ideology?
I mean, the idea that transgenderism per se is
What does that mean?
not gender dysphoria. It's not a
Uh,
medical issue or a psychological issue.
I mean, I would generally think that what they would teach would be more broad. I don't think that anywhere is saying that I don't think anyone is saying that like trans people don't have dysphoria.
I've heard a couple people. Only person I haven't heard that from
Yeah,
is
but that's not like
Buck Angel. I think Buck Angel's a great
no, I
if
don't
I
think
was
he's a good representative. I think he's fucking dog shit for a lot of reasons. Look, I'm
Which
of the
one
belief that I'm of the belief that having gender dysphoria is not a necessary prerequisite for being trans, but I do think that they're very heavily associated with each other. And what I mean by that is to be trans does necessitate some sort of gender incongruence between the gender that you were assigned at birth and your gender identity, right? And generally, not always, but generally that causes some sort of feeling of dysphoria, right? That's derived from it. But it's not like a necessary property of it.
I think I will state I'm religious, so I'll preface that if that's going to nullify my argument for some people.
Well,
to
make
an
an argument
extent-
that's secular, and it won't matter.
Well, if I make a secular argument, I mean I'm just saying that just in general because people always like, "Are you religious?" So I just get out of the way beforehand.
Don't worry about what chat's saying. Don't read chat. It'll make you worse at debate, I promise.
Sorry, repeat your question. My secular statement or view.
Yeah, can you? Yeah, I was just saying, like, don't worry about religion. Just make a secular response to what I said.
I'm kind of I'm this is where I'm empathetic. See, I don't believe in empathy. I believe in sympathy. And my
okay.
issue with like, I don't disregard trans people as people. I think that like viewpoint is pretty stupid, and I don't try to put them lesser than me.
I would certainly
because
hope not.
I know a lot of people do, but I do have an issue with people trying to like tell everybody like, oh, you know what you are when you don't know what you are. I think it's like really incongruent and kind of stupid to let.
Who is saying you know what you are when you don't know what you are? I'm confused.
Okay, how do I put it this way? Like, let me give you a story. Maybe this will like preface you on
no,
like my.
I'm not listening. I'm not here for a story. I'm here for an argument.
Yes, I'm trying to give you an argument. Maybe that'll help.
Well, I'm not interested in your anecdotes. I'm interested in an argument, not a story.
I do not believe that any sort of transgender belief should be part of education whatsoever. I think that is
okay. But before you were saying that like that the problem you would have is like if they're teaching people that trans people don't have dysphoria, but now you're saying no, don't teach them about trans people at all, or make it make sense.
No, I was prefacing that I believe transgender people have dysphoria. That's the only way to truly have to truly believe you're transgender is to have gender dysphoria, which is the feeling that you were in somebody else's body, the incorrect gender's body. Am I correct?
So, no, that's not the only way of being trans. For example, if I medically transition and I no longer have dysphoria, does my belief in the fact that I'm trans become false?
Does your dysphoria disappear? I've never heard of gender dysphoria disappear.
Yeah, it can't. Well, it can. It can go away. Yeah, after transitioning.
Can you like
now, generally, it's
like that? Because
there are instances of trans people that transition and don't have dysphoria anymore. Yeah, that's like a thing. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but it definitely can happen. There's no reason it wouldn't, right? Like if it's the case that your body is like congruent with the gender you identify with in basically every single regard, aside from like what, oh, you can't give birth. Okay, you'd have dysphoria the same way that an infertile woman would have dysphoria. Oh, well, what about your chromosomes? Oh yeah, because people have chromosomal dysphoria, except oh wait, there's no such thing. Nobody's dysphoric about their chromosomes, right? You get the point. No one's dysphoric about their internal sex characteristics.
Let's say I'm trying to see if it can disappear because I've never heard that argument made before.
So I mean,
from my understanding,
it's something that can be treated, and sometimes treatment causes it to go away. So think of it as like depression. There's not like a cure for depression. So there's no cure for gender dysphoria. And I think that's where the confusion is coming from. But there's treatment for depression. And some people, when they receive treatment, they stop being depressed. They stop having depression once they receive said treatment. The same line of logic applies to gender dysphoria. Does that make sense?
I see where you're trying to go with it, but I don't think it's a stop. I think it maybe is a mute or a nullification, but it's still there. Like if you stop your treatment, say it's going to come back, right?
Well, yeah, if you stop your treatment, yeah, but you wouldn't stop your treatment. You have no reason to. It's like the same way, like let's say somebody, well, let's say it's the case that like somebody has depression, except for when they're on antidepressants, they don't have depression, right? Like, is it the case that they're depressed, that they have depression? Well, not really when they're on antidepressants, right? So the same way that a trans person might not have dysphoria while they're receiving treatment for said dysphoria or after a certain amount of treatment.
If I'm correct, most people that take antidepressants have to take higher medications throughout life because their body gets used to it. So what would be your version for gender dysphoria if it's not Botox?
There wouldn't be. That's not how dysphoria works. No, that's not how you're thinking of dysmorphia. You're thinking of dysmorphia. If anything, this is an argument in favor of my position because there's actually a stronger case to be made that gender dysphoria can go away than depression.
So let me get my understanding of gender dysphoria, and I don't know if this is the difference between dysmorphia and dysphoria, so please correct me. Dysphoria is the feeling that everything about you is woman or man except for your external features. Is that correct?
No, because that excludes internal sex characteristics. No, dysphoria in of itself, not just gender dysphoria, but just dysphoria broadly, refers to a discomfort on the basis of a true perception of your physical characteristics. Gender dysphoria is specifically in the context of characteristics that are associated with gender that are sex characteristics. So, for example, I'm dysphoric about my masculine secondary sex characteristics, right? That's a point of dysphoria for me. So that's going to be things like, not having boobs or, my face structure being more masculine or my voice being deeper, shit like that might give me dysphoria, right? Somebody might be dysphoric about their primary sex characteristics. So that's going to be their genitals.
What's dysmorphia?
But the dysphoria, so dysmorphia, the difference between dysphoria and dysmorphia is dysphoria refers to a true perception. Dysmorphia refers to a false perception. So for example, if, say for instance, an anorexic person looks at themselves in the mirror and is disgusted because they see a fat person, that would be dysmorphia because it's a false belief.
Okay, so then so I'm trying to understand what you meant by it would strengthen your argument. My point is what I'm saying is that dysphoria doesn't leave. Now you can somewhat suppress it to an extent by changing
not just to an extent. If you change your features enough, then you would no longer have dysphoria. Like if you are not necessarily, but in many cases, if you get to a point as a trans person, like let's say you're a trans woman and you're at a point where you're indistinguishable from a cis woman, and you have, and let's say maybe you even got like bottom surgery and whatnot. There's a decent chance. It's not guaranteed, but there's a decent chance that you won't have dysphoria anymore, right?
Because
that'll be gone. Now, granted, if you go off of, and I'm pretty sure that if you go off of hormones at that point, you don't need a T blocker once you get bottom surgery, so you wouldn't even need treatment in that regard. It would just be like the same thing as going through menopause, essentially, if you were to go off of estrogen, right? You wouldn't need a T blocker at that point. So you wouldn't have testosterone masculinizing you. It wouldn't be a dysphoria thing. It'd be more of like I don't want to go through menopause, so I'm just going to keep taking HRT type of thing.
And this is my first time hearing this, and I've listened to a lot of debates on this. So I'm not trying to be a dick, but I just don't trust you on the fact that it disappears because I've never heard that argument made.
Well, just because you've never heard an argument made doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
You're not
I'm not saying it's common for it to disappear or whatever. And it's like, and I don't know if disappear is the word that I would use. I'd say, again, like I know if I got to a point, I know that if I got to a point where I was indistinguishable from a cis woman and I perceived myself to be indistinguishable from a cis woman, that I wouldn't have any dysphoria anymore, right? The dysphoria would be gone because all of my points of dysphoria would be gone. And something tells me that there's going to be some number of people that are the same way. Hell, I'm less dysphoric than I used to be. Why? Because I don't look as manly as I used to. Right now, I'm still dysphoric because of my more masculine features and characteristics, right? And that's something I'm dysphoric about. But at the same time, it's
dampened or suppressed, but it's still there.
It's dampened, but it's still there because there are still things for me to be dysphoric about.
Yeah, but I'm saying, okay, even people that are like fully like bottom surgery, everything, they still sometimes they do. Sometimes they still have dysphoria. I don't know. I feel like most people that I've either met or I've heard
there are some trans people where where people conflate dysphoria and dysmorphia too. And something you might notice is somebody like Blair White, who gets like a shit ton of unnecessary plastic surgery that doesn't make her pass better, it just makes her look botched. That would be an example of somebody that has dysphoria and dysmorphia. All of the additional plastic surgeries that make her look like Michael Jackson are caused by dysmorphia, not dysphoria. Those are different.
I don't know. I thought Blair White was a woman the first time I heard her.
Well, she is. She's just a trans woman. Yeah, also you're muffled again.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm covering my mic on accident. Okay, I found out why I'm muffled. But I guess back to the point. I don't think that it should be taught in school. I don't think, like, that's just in general.
What specifically? You haven't been able to get any specifics. You've just said, well, I don't think it should be taught in school. I don't think transgenderism, I don't know what that means.
What do you mean transgender?
That was one of the things that you said. I don't think transgenderism should be taught in schools. I don't know what that means.
Transgender thought, belief should be taught in school at all.
I don't know what that means. What is transgender thought? We're not a fucking monolith.
I think sex education in school should be just like, what does a man's body do? What does a woman's body do? Like natural bodies, not beliefs.
Why can't you learn about trans people in that case? Like, why can't you learn like, oh yeah, and there's like also trans people that exist and gay people? What?
There's no point. What you're
there
learning
is,
about
it's very important. It's very important because trans people have bodies and they exist. Why wouldn't you want to learn about that?
Can I talk or
like
no?
what? Well, yeah, you can talk, but I was correcting like the dumb shit that you said. You said there's no reason to learn about it, and I'm just correcting that because there is a reason.
All you need to know
you're just wrong about that.
The function of your sexual organs, how to protect yourself, how to not get STDs. You don't need to learn anything else. There's no point learning anything else. You don't need to learn about ideology, identity. I think that's
it's
something
not ideology. Trans people existing is not an ideology. It's just like a material fact that we exist. So there's nothing ideological about saying, oh yeah, and then like it's also like some people that are like trans and here's how that works. I don't know. I don't think that like it would make sense to go that much in depth because it's not super relevant, but I don't think that anyone is. I think it's just like oh yeah, and like some people like go through this and like that causes this.
I mean, I'm from a state where it's a lot more in depth than just, oh yeah.
Really? What specifically are they teaching? That's so bad. That I'm supposed to like be morally.
No, when I was in high school, they were trying to do that, and people fought. Or I don't want to say people fought back, but people went against that.
People went against what?
Like went against. Like how do I put this? When I was in high school, parents more or less said, "I just want basic sex education, nothing more, nothing less."
I don't. Okay. Oh, okay. And what
what
exactly were they teaching? Okay. What were they teaching that you got a problem with?
Well, they didn't get to teach it. That's the point. They didn't get to.
Okay. So you don't even have any examples of like what they were teaching that was so bad that they shouldn't be able to teach it. So you see why there's a problem with this?
Yeah. No, I'm not making that argument. I'm just telling you that they weren't able to.
Okay. And what if they were able to? What were they going to teach realistically? Do you have any idea?
During that time in high school, let me think.
It sounds like you have no idea, and that's fine. Just admit it.
I'm trying to remember. This was like 10 years ago.
Okay, so if you don't even know what you're opposed to, then what's your argument? Your argument is like, oh, well, I remember like a long time ago, there were like parents that were like opposed to something, but I don't know what that something would have been, but I'm sure it was really bad because parents said it was bad. Now, parents are never wrong about anything.
Did I not specify what I think sex education should be? It should be general function of your genitalia.
You already said that.
Okay, that's my point. That's what I think.
You don't think there's time for like any additional education for that? Because I mean, considering the fact that like.
What's the point of that?
You have more knowledge. The point is that you're more educated. Duh.
On what? On what? All you need to know is the functions of your body, how to protect yourself, and how to not get STDs.
Yeah, don't you think that knowledge would also apply to like a trans person and like a gay person?
How? It's the same exact thing.
It's the same exact thing. What exactly is the same?
Sex happens the same exact way for both sides. Something goes in something's hole. If you don't use protection, you're going to catch something. Am I wrong?
Right.
Well, no, am I wrong? Yes or no?
I think there's definitely a lot more to it than that, right? So, like for instance, you're not gonna get pregnant from gay sex. Contrary to what the Megaverse might want you to believe, you actually can't get mpreg. That's not a thing. Now, some men can get pregnant, but they're trans men, but that's a whole separate thing. That's not the same thing as mpreg.
Okay, but
Regardless,
so,
a good sex
do you
education.
think that, do you think
Regardless,
that most
good
sex
detailed
education would
sex education
specify
is some.
that?
Hold on, you do realize that good detailed sex education that actually educates people in depth is something that is beneficial in terms of reducing things like pregnancy, STDs, etc. Because if you say, for instance, describe, okay, like, you know, here's how straight sex works, and you know, here's how to avoid STDs with straight sex, right? You're not really teaching anything to, like, I mean, sure, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, like if you're gay, yeah, probably use a condom, right? But you're also not gonna know as much what to look out for if you're having, you know, anal sex. You know, I'm just saying, like, here's the thing.
Okay, so wait, so
I
do
don't
you
see.
think that herpes is different in guys and girls, whether it's in their coochie or in their butthole? Or do you think it's going to do the exact same thing?
Well, I think that you
Because
should
the,
learn
the,
that.
the STD
Well, I think that you should
does the
learn
exact
that
same
how
thing.
STDs work regardless. Like, I
Okay,
think that,
but
like,
you
the
can
more
say that
knowledge
in
you have.
Wait. So
Well,
do
okay,
you
why
think that
can't?
a
Okay, well, why is it the case that they don't like? Okay, why don't?
Answer this.
Why don't they teach? No,
Answer
no, no,
this.
no,
Answer this.
no, no, no.
Answer
Why
this.
don't they
Answer
teach
this.
people? Why don't they teach people through the veneer of gay sex and say, well, you get STDs through anal sex, and then just like, I guess it's like implicit that like through vaginal sex you can also get STDs. Why don't they do that?
Why can't they do it vice versa? If you say you can get it through
No, I'm
vaginal sex,
asking why can't they do that? The answer is because
Answer.
that's fucking stupid and
Because-
silly as fuck. No, the
No,
answer is because it's
you see how
really
dumb you
really
sound?
goofy.
You see how
The
dumb
answer
you
is
sound?
it's
Because
really
you can do it
fucking
vice
goofy,
versa.
and you know it's
You can
goofy
do it
as fuck
vice
to do
versa.
that.
No,
You know
no.
it's retarded to do it the other way around.
See,
If
you're not
if
letting
you
me
were
speak.
consistent in
You're
your
not letting me-
position, you would
not letting
believe
me
that they're
speak.
equal, but you obviously don't believe that.
What do you mean? Okay, you just.
What I
made
mean
up-
is that you're
No,
inconsistent in your
no.
position.
Okay, don't let me talk. Don't let me talk then. My bad.
What I mean is that you're inconsistent in your position. You're just like saying a whole
No,
lot
I'm
of
not.
nothing.
My position is
Yeah,
that
you are. I explained the contradiction, but you weren't paying attention.
No, you literally just said what I could play the same thing backwards.
Uh-huh.
If you can get herpes in a vagina, why can't you get it in a butthole? It's implicit, right?
I don't know.
It's basic. It's
No,
basic
it's
knowledge.
not. It's not.
Yes,
It's
it
not
is.
necessarily.
What's the difference? What's the difference?
The difference is that
What's the
kids are
difference?
dumb and
Because
are
they
not
might-
going to think about it that much.
Oh, really? So, oh my. So then they might.
Why
just
do you
it
think
vice
that teen
versa.
pregnancy? Why do you think teen pregnancy occurs? Why do you think teen pregnancy occurs? Why do you think teen pregnancy occurs?
Now you're just being stupid because you're not.
No,
acknowledging-
I'm saying that generally it's going to be the case that people in that age range are stupid. So why do you think it's the case that teen pregnancies occur? The reason is because they're stupid and they don't have common sense. So you're presupposing that they would have common sense when they wouldn't. Make it make sense.
Okay. You
If they
make
don't
it
have the
make
common sense to not get
wait,
fucking
you make
pregnant
it
as teenagers, they're not going to have the common sense that you just stated. Like, holy shit.
You just said that they would imply that if you can get herpes in their butthole, they can get it in their vagina. But if they can get it in their vagina,
No,
then they're
I'm
too
saying that it
stupid
would.
to get it in
No,
their
you're
butthole.
wrong.
That's literally
You're not
your
understand.
argument.
You're not
That's
understanding the
literally your
argument I made. You're
argument.
so
That's
stupid.
literally-
Wait, hold
that's
on. This is the
literally what
dumbest
you
thing I've
just
ever
said.
heard. So
Literally
no,
what
you're
you just
wrong.
said. That's
Wrong.
what you just said. Like there's no.
No,
way
I
you-
was critiquing your
there's no-
position. I think it would be dumb. I think it would be dumb to exclusively teach, oh yeah, here's how you get herpes through the asshole and not mention anything about the STDs you would get through vaginal sex. My position is that would be just as stupid as what you're saying. My position is that those things are equally dumb. Anyways. Hello?
Be okay.
Hello? All right, you're
Hello, can you hear me?
yeah, I can now. You were like
I
you're
just
having a
said
seizure.
that. No, there's no way you just say that because your original argument was they could teach it that way and it'd be okay. And now you're switching
No,
to
that
it.
wasn't my
That was-
original argument.
Yes, it was.
Wrong.
You literally
Try
said
again.
that.
You're retarded.
You
You're
literally
retarded.
said
No, I
literally
was saying that according to
said
your
that.
standards.
Oh my
No,
God,
I
you're
said according
such
to
a
your
monkey.
standards.
Oh
You're
my
so
God,
bad at
you're
this.
such a monkey.
Do you think you look
You're
good in this
such a monkey.
conversation right now? If I say
I
that,
think I look better than
if
you.
I'm
I think I look
responding,
better.
no, you don't. If you're
Just
responding,
responded.
if I'm responding to the dumb fuck argument you make by saying, well, according to your standard, this would be the case, and then you say, actually, that's what you're saying. Like, do you not see why that sounds fucking stupid? No, I'm actually not saying that they should exclusively teach anal sex, and then it's implied that vaginal sex is the same, but they don't actually say that or specify that or tell you anything about it. Right? The point that I was bringing up is that it's absurd. It would be just as absurd to say we're only going to teach anal sex, and we'll teach, yeah, I guess if you do vaginal sex, you might get pregnant, but we're only going to teach anal sex, right? That would be fucking stupid, right? That would be really dumb, right? That was the point that I was making. Obviously, you have too much of a low IQ to understand that.
Can I ask you this? Does anal sex have to be gay? Can anal sex be
generally
straight?
I don't know. I think it's generally gay.
No,
it can be straight.
So there's
why does it have to be straight
about anal sex?
Yeah, but but if it was gay, it would be wrong.
Anything?
But if it was gay, it was wrong. If it was gay, it was wrong.
It's not gay. Anal sex isn't gay. It's a straight thing.
It's usually pretty gay.
Oh.
Most anal sex is gay. Let's not fucking kid ourselves. Yeah, there's straight anal sex that exists, but let's be real.
Yes.
Most people that primarily engage in anal sex are going to be gay men. Let's not kid ourselves.
A lot of people do it. A lot of people.
Yeah, a lot more gay people, proportionally speaking, do it. Who do you think does more anal sex per person? Do you think it's a gay person, a gay man, or a straight couple? Do you think it's a gay couple of gay men or a straight couple? Who do you think does anal sex more?
Seeing as gay people make up a small proportion of society, I would say
per person. Hey, retard, I said per person. This is what I mean when I say that you're too dumb to engage. You're one of those people that thinks that they're smarter than they actually are, but you don't understand basic terminology like per person. Like I say per capita, and it's like a curveball for you.
I didn't hear you say per person. Forgive me for my sin.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess you would
magically omit all the important information in the convo.
Magically omit?
I said magically evade. Do you know what the word evade means?
In League of Legends, usually you're like running.
All right, you're retarded. I'm sorry. I can't deal with this. Anyways, all right. Hopefully this person's less retarded. Hello.
Yo.
What's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Your audio is very, very bad. Whenever you talk, it's like super staticky. Is there a way you could fix that?
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Alright, let me, try to speak on my phone. Hang on.
Yeah. It's not the end of the world,
Oh,
but...
wait, I'm gonna go... Is it,
actually,
like, tolerable?
I think it's tolerable, yeah. Like, if it's not the end of the world. What do you want to debate about?
I don't know. What are some of your, viewpoints?
I'd say that I'm pro-trans, pro-choice, anti-Trump. Any of those, like, sounding like something you'd disagree with?
Yeah, maybe
what do you disagree with?
So, like pro-choice stuff.
Okay.
I think, like, let's say, like, two 17-year-olds have sex and they're being stupid, like, no protection. Like, I don't think the 17-year-old should be able to, like, get an abortion, like, when it's late into the pregnancy. I think that's kind of
late into the pregnancy? Okay,
Yeah.
I would say that late into the pregnancy, I mean, that's gonna be... So, okay, so you would agree that, like, before... I want to...
like, mid.
I want to find some common ground. Okay, do you believe it's okay to get a pregnancy? Like, is it morally justifiable to get an abortion before the fetus is sentient? Do you at least agree with that?
I would say, let's say you have sex, right? And like you say, oh shit, I may have gotten that girl pregnant. If you can get plan B within like a week, maybe.
Well, I think that there should be a larger window of time. How about like within the first 26 weeks of the pregnancy, which is the window of time that it would take, like the minimum window of time that it would be for the or is it 24 or is it 26 weeks? Either way, one of those is the minimum window of time that it would take for the fetus to become sentient. Why would it be wrong for them to get an abortion before then? Or do you agree that it would be okay?
The thing is, they say, like, my body, my choice, right? But
okay, well, I'm not interested in what they're saying. I'm interested in what I'm saying. Can you engage with what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, but it's related. What I'm saying is,
No, it's
the
not
baby
related.
has
We're not
its
even
own-
talking about bodily autonomy right now. We're talking about the moral consideration of a non-sentient life form. So can you respond to the statement that I made instead of going on a diatribe about a bunch of irrelevant shit that I didn't say?
Okay.
Okay. Can you respond to the question I asked? Or the point that I made?
Yeah, I think 2 weeks max. That's what we can do.
Why?
2 weeks max.
Why is that the maximum? Why is 3 weeks bad?
Because I mean, you have to be kind of like a dumbass to not take preventive measures in the
Okay.
first place. So
What does that have to do with whether or not you should be allowed to, or whether or not it's morally right or wrong?
well, if you look at it logically, the baby
I'm
has its
looking at
own
it
separate blood type. So it's kind of its
Okay.
own separate person. It's not really your body. It's kind of
Okay.
another body trapped in your body.
Oh,
So
okay. Do
it's got
you
a
believe that
common
like okay, what about like a rat? A rat has its own blood type. Does that mean like it'd be like
Mhm.
wrong to kill a rat with a rat trap? Do you think that like rat traps are murder?
I think you just like there's non-lethal like rat traps. Yeah, you can just catch a rat, and throw it outside.
Okay, do you think that the lethal ones are considered murder? Like would you be murdering them with the lethal ones? Like is that like should that like
It's-
constitute as like murder like in a legal sense? Like should we classify it that
Well,
way?
Well, no, because a rat's not a
Why not?
human.
Well, no, but they have
Because
their
a
own
rat's not
distinct
a
blood
human.
type. No, but they have their own blood type.
Yeah, but it's not a human though. There's a big difference between a
Ah,
rat
so
and a
why
human.
do you believe that? Okay, do you believe that a brain? Okay, so if your standard is whether or not they're human, do you believe that somebody that is brain dead, meaning that you know that legally they're dead, do you believe it is morally wrong to pull the plug on the brain dead person?
Sorry, I was reading your chat. Can you just repeat like
Yeah.
bit?
So don't read chat during the debate, okay? It's gonna make you worse.
But people are calling you a psychopath.
That's awesome. So the fact, yeah, I'm not even in favor of like I'm not somebody that's like in favor of killing rats or anything like that. I'm just saying like I wouldn't classify that as murder, right? And that rat is going to be a lot more sentient than the fetus at 3 weeks. So because that the fetus is not going to be sentient at all within the first 26 weeks. So, but that's a side point, okay? The real point is fuck, where was I? Sorry, it's late. Oh, right. If you're concerned with whether or not they're human, a brain dead person is technically human, but they don't have the capacity for consciousness. Do you believe it is immoral to pull the plug on the brain dead person?
No, honestly,
No.
actually, no, actually, no. That's the one thing. Like, I know if I was brain dead and like I couldn't move and I was just kind of stuck in a hell forever.
Well, you wouldn't
Yeah,
be
I'd
stuck in
probably
hell.
want
You
the
wouldn't even
plug
be
pulled.
aware of your surroundings. Like you would not even you wouldn't be conscious at all. There would be no sentience.
Well, being a vegetable must be pretty scary. So
Well, no, it wouldn't
if I
be.
was a
You wouldn't
vegetable-
feel. You wouldn't feel anything at all. There would be no feeling associated with being brain dead. You would literally just be brain dead, meaning you wouldn't have the capacity for sentience at all.
Yeah, but the thing is that life is done. There's nothing left for that vegetable, but you still
Oh.
have potential with the baby.
Oh, potential. Okay, so it's not a matter of whether or not they're human. It's whether or not they have the potential to become a human. Do you believe it's the case
Yeah,
that
what if
Hmm.
what if
So
that
we're gonna go
baby-
to a
what if that
potential.
baby that-
No. We're gonna go
Yeah,
to
what if
a
that baby-
potentiality argument. Go on.
Yeah, what if that baby that you're trying to abort and you didn't abort it actually became a doctor and did more bottom surgery
What if they
for
became
your training
Adolf
freaks?
Hitler?
That's
Uh,
not too bad.
Ugh. It's not too bad. Something tells me you're like shit posting. I don't think you're actually arguing, but we'll continue regardless. As if you're not shit posting. All right, just for the sake of the discussion, let's just say. I guess a question I would ask you is: do you believe it's the case that I don't know, it's wrong to flush your cum down the toilet? I think that's like a wrong thing to do.
Oh, you're trying to use the meme where it's like whenever a dude jerks off, he's like committing mass genocide.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you could say that.
Oh no, that's stupid.
Okay, why is it stupid?
Because I don't-
Why is it? Why? What's the symmetry breaker?
Because I don't think that's a baby in the womb. I think that's like jizz on my stomach.
Yeah, but that's human life. That's human life, It has the capacity to become sentient life as long as you insert it into a woman's vagina. Your goal should be to maximize the number of times that the outcome of a future human life, because they could become a doctor that does bottom surgery, like you said. You ought to maximize it by rubbing your jizz on as many women's vaginas as possible. Otherwise you're preventing future life from existing.
I'm fine with like preventive measures, but I'm saying if the life is already there and it's being formed, then you're kind of killing potential.
Wait, sperm is alive? No, sperm is alive. Sperm is alive.
It's not like a fetus. Yeah, but it's not a fetus.
Well, why? Okay, why do you draw the line there?
Because like millions of dudes jerk off every day, and that'd be like mass genocide. But I don't think it is.
Well, yeah, that's the point. But it points out the consistency in your worldview. But it's not it's not a baby. It's like a clump of cells, right? Or a fucking a fetus that's not sentient. Again, much like sperm, it has the capacity, to become a person one day, and it is human, in fact, much like sperm. But it's not sentient yet. It doesn't have the capacity for consciousness yet. But if you put that sperm in a woman's pussy, that's that could become a person that becomes a doctor and does bottom surgery for you. So if you really think about it, you are doing a mass genocide anytime you masturbate.
Oh, because it's not shooting into a vag per se.
Okay, but what is the difference in outcomes? Yeah, so what is the difference in outcomes? Okay, if you care about potentiality, what is the difference about...
One can make a baby, one can't. That's the thing.
No. I'm asking you, what is the difference in outcomes between, I don't know, taking preventative measures to not get pregnant versus getting pregnant and then getting an abortion 4 weeks into it? What's the difference in outcomes?
I'm actually fine with like preventive measures like birth control and like
yeah. So like, what's the difference? Yeah, I'm asking you, what's the difference in outcomes between that and getting an abortion at 4 weeks? It's the same outcome, right?
Because you're killing a baby, and like when you kill sperm, you kind of just wipe it.
But you said that the value. Yeah, but you said that the value of the fetus is not contingent upon whether or not they're human. It's not, because you agreed that like a brain dead human, it's okay to kill that. It's not based on their blood type, because a rat can have its own blood type, so it's not based on that. So you deferred to potentiality.
Well, I didn't say but
obviously you don't. Okay, but you wouldn't classify it as murder, right? So, but obviously it's going to be the case that despite the fact, okay. But you haven't established why. So again, if it's the case that it is wrong for you to kill a fetus 4 weeks into it, it's not sentient, right? Your basis is potentiality. You believe that because it has the potential to become a conscious human being, that it's worth moral consideration. But that same standard applies to sperm. So if your standard is the capacity to become something else, then what you are inadvertently saying is that thing in of itself is not worth moral consideration. It is merely worth consideration in an instrumental sense, meaning that it exists and functions and has value as a means to an end, not in of itself.
Yeah, that's kind of retarded, because when you jizz onto a towel, you're kind of just doing it for pleasure. But when you do sex,
you're also doing it for pleasure.
Attraction.
You're doing it for pleasure.
Biologically hardwired. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no difference then, is what you're saying. In one case you're imagining it, in one case you're actually doing it. What's the difference?
Well, no. When you're a dude and you jerk off, you're kind of just doing it to do it. But if you like,
but you would never do that with sex.
A beautiful wife. No, I'm saying if you make love to your beautiful wife and you're trying to have a kid, that's like. But you wouldn't be trying to have a kid, right? You wouldn't get an abortion if you were trying to. You wouldn't be getting an abortion if you're trying to have a kid. Something you trainees can't comprehend. But I will say.
Yeah, you gotta get like you gotta be funnier than this. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like if you're gonna rage bait, like do better. This is like really pathetic.
Okay,
that was gay. All right, where were we? I was like really bad rage bait. Actually, but like if you were to have sex, of course it would be for procreation. Like, okay, you got to be more convincing than that. It would be a little bit more creative, right? Anyways, Hello, you're on the air. Congratulations, you've made it. Hello?
Before I formed
What?
you in the I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Appointed you as prophet to the nations.
Huh?
You are evil, ontologically.
It's true. That's true.
And you cannot defend your claim.
It's true. I am evil. How did you know?
Your life is based on pleasure, with no meaning. And you
Uh-huh.
dress up in your mom's
Yeah,
dress.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's true. I couldn't possibly buy my own clothes. It's true. How did you know?
You can't. So
Uh-huh.
it don't work.
I'm not really sure what you're like trying to get at here. Like, what do you disagree with me on specifically?
Everything.
Everything. Okay, can you give me like a specific example of something you agree, or sorry, something you disagree with me on?
Your identity.
Uh-huh. Well, what do you disagree specifically on?
Everything, man.
Okay, like what specifically? I'm asking you for specific examples.
Who said?
Hello? Buddy, you there? Hello? Damn, he just muted. Damn, we're really on the edge of our seat with this one. You know, this guy has a very high brain cell count. You actually might have 3 brain cells as opposed to the other guy who had 2 brain cells. Ah. Very funny, good show. Let's fucking go. Hell yeah. I'd certainly hope so. He ran away? No, he's still in the call. He just like said 1 second and just muted. He's buffering. He's taking a minute. Dude, what? Okay.
Alright, the king has returned.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, what's your argument again?
Abortion is evil. It's
Oh,
completely evil.
abortion is evil. Why is it evil?
It's so evil.
Yeah, but like why?
As I said, Jeremiah 1:5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. That's
What?
all I need.
Do you have like
That's
an
all I
argument
need.
or just like a weird
Yeah, I'm appealing
cringe
to my
bit?
epistemic worldview. That
Do you have
says
like
that
a
an objective morality exists. And in
do you
that
have like
morality,
do you have like a
babies
less
is
unfunny
wrong.
version? Do you have like a less unfunny way of saying the rage bait or
That's
whatever?
not-
Like,
It's not rage bait, you're not listening.
oh, uh-huh.
Epistemic worldview in which an objective morality exists. And in that worldview, aborting is evil.
Oh, okay. Can you justify your worldview?
Can. We
You
were
can.
justified through this transcendental argument. Look it up.
No, you haven't. You haven't justified shit.
We haven't. We have.
Really?
The transcendental
How have you
argument.
You haven't made an argument.
My argument is that suppose an objective morality exists for a worldview that contains a personal God.
Why?
which
I don't believe in any
abortion
of that
would be
shit.
evil.
Oh, so
Yeah, but
if
you
you
can't
believe in a God that
justify
says
anything
abortion
you
is
believe in.
evil, so if you believe in a God that says that abortion is evil, therefore it's true regardless of whether or not you're right about that? Okay.
You could disprove me wrong by disproving the transcendental argument.
Can you make the argument?
It would be too long.
It'd be too
for
long.
your
So you want me to
shorts.
disprove an argument that you're not even willing to make?
I want you
But
to
me just
Google
so
it.
you making
do
the
some
argument would be
research.
too long, but me disproving it wouldn't be too long.
Okay. I mean, it would be the same amount of time, but you wouldn't be able to disprove it.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to disprove it, but it'd be the same amount of time. Well, if it's the same amount of time, then surely because I'm just not able to disprove it, you'd be able to go along making the argument, right?
Well, are you familiar with epistemology and ontological?
No. No, explain it to me like I'm
Okay,
5.
Okay. No. Then we'll go to something different. We'll go
No,
to
no,
a
no,
secular
I want you to
worldview.
explain. No, I
I'll
want you to
put
explain
you
it to me
to
like
a
I'm
secular-
5.
No, I can't. 5-year-olds shouldn't be learning about epistemology.
Why not?
You should be
What if I'm a really
playing
smart
with
5-year-old? No,
Transformers.
explain it to me like I'm a
What-
really smart 5-year-old.
Should
Like
be
I'm
dressing
I'm
up.
an Einstein level 5-year-old. Okay, I'm like the smartest 5-year-old you know.
I mean, no. I'll go to a secular worldview. I'll go to something that
Okay.
even the chat.
Okay.
All right. We live in a society, right?
Yeah, that's what
We
the
are a
Joker
collective.
said. It's so true.
Yeah. Right?
Mhm.
We need population, right? We need people
Uh-huh.
to birth. Otherwise, our systems fail, and there's no one to look after our old,
Uh-huh.
for example.
So you're
Which
worried
is one
about
of the
birth
things.
rates.
Birth rates, yeah.
Okay, so what is the difference in outcomes between having protective sex, like, using contraception versus getting an abortion 4 weeks into a pregnancy? Can you explain how those would have a different impact on the birth rate, since that's the standard that you're appealing to?
Well, both are bad.
Oh, both are
And
bad. So you believe that
contraception, yeah.
contraception is bad? What if I just
It
choose not
is.
to have sex? What if I remain celibate? Is that also bad?
Well, that would
It would produce the
that
same
would
outcome,
cost
right?
you, it would cost you a lot of peace, personal
okay.
peace. But that's where you gotta think, or you're a person
Okay,
who
so but
can
the
have a
outcome is the
family.
same. Yeah, but dude, the birth rates would decline and that'd be super bad and stuff. So it'd be really bad, right?
No, it's not everyone. Not everyone.
Oh, not everyone.
would
Why only?
choose the-
Why only? Oh, not everyone would choose that. So the same way that not everyone would choose to not have kids, you mean to tell me that not everyone would choose to be celibate? Whoa.
It depends on what what society norms are. Like
Oh,
obviously
it's
now,
contingent
when-
upon society's norms. Why do
Yeah.
I care what societal norms are? That's not what I use to determine whether or not something ought or ought not be the case.
because if society goes down, you lose a social security net that you could benefit
What?
from materially.
So your argument against abortion is because what about Social Security?
In a sense, yeah, could go that route.
Okay. Do you have a real argument, or are you just here to do weird?
That's a
debate
real
pedo
argument.
shit?
That's a real argument.
No, you're doing debate pedo shit. I know you're a
What?
fucking Discord debater. You're a Discord debater. Let me see. Are you in the politics server? No,
I
you're
don't
surprisingly
do
not.
Discord
You sound
debates. I'm just a real person.
no. You sound like a
The
Discord
realest you've ever
debater.
met.
No, you're
How?
a debate. Shut the fuck up. Dude, you're a debate pedo and you know it,
No. What?
dude.
No.
No, I
Back to
know
it.
how.
Anyway, back to it.
Oh my
We
god.
need to expand as nations. We need to expand the sector. How do we do that? We need more people.
Uh-huh.
So you need to sacrifice yourself.
Yeah, so
Sacrifice.
you'd sacrifice yourself by not being
just
celibate,
like any
right?
order, just like
Yeah, but
any
being
other
celibate would be bad
organism.
because you wouldn't. Yeah, but it'd be bad to be celibate because you wouldn't be sacrificing
It,
yourself.
w-
in
it
that
would
way.
be. It would be. Yeah. It
Wait,
would
I thought
be.
you said that it was good. I thought it was good to be celibate. So
Well,
what you're
it's-
telling me is that you
it's a
should be
secular
required.
worldview.
Yeah, but
In
you
a
should
secular
be.
worldview, yeah.
So,
It
so
is.
you believe that according to a secular worldview, you should be required to have sex, to have children.
You shouldn't be
You're-
forced.
you're
no,
forced
but
to
it should
become
be
a par-
promoted.
Oh, it should be promoted. Okay.
That's the best optimal case. I'm arguing for the most
Okay,
optimal
well, we
society.
already have that. We already have tax benefits to people that are parents. So maybe you could argue that it should be promoted more, and that's fine.
It
I
should
do
be
think
only
that
promoted for people who are straight and have
Why?
3 to 4 kids.
Why? That's stupid.
Because
People don't want
there
that.
are
If there's no benefit to having 2 kids and somebody doesn't want 4 kids and they're already hesitant to have 2 kids, why would they have any kids? You're just de-incentivizing.
again, that's why we need to incentivize people.
But you're not. You'd be decentivizing it, saying that it's only the case for people that are, having 4 or more kids that they would be able to,
No. Because we can accept the
receive those
margin. We can
benefits.
accept the negatives.
The
Because
negatives.
the positives will far outweigh it. Yeah,
The negatives of most people don't want 4 or 5 children. That's not going to change.
yeah, but most people are also just cringe. What
Incredible counter argument.
It is. I mean, I'm speaking for the most optimal and why it should be good.
Of course.
Of course, most people don't care what's the most optimal. They just wanna,
The
do
most
their-
optimal for who?
for society,
For
to
society,
flourish.
yeah. We're never going to face an overpopulation crisis if we all have 4 to 5 kids. It's true.
In Europe, no. In America, no.
Oh,
We're
right. That would never happen.
Severely
It would never
underpopulated.
happen. Yeah, oh, dude,
We are.
we just have an underpopulation crisis. Well, it's a good thing we have a such thing as immigrants.
Yeah, and immigrants are low IQ. They don't integrate.
Oh, as opposed to
Um,
infants, which are very high IQ, of course. Which we have to,
No, but
to feed for 18
infants you
years.
can groom. You can groom. You can protect.
Whoa!
They can carry
you
on
wanna,
the lineage.
Wait, are you saying you're in favor of grooming kids?
Nothing wrong with grooming. It's the act of
Okay,
enduring
alright.
people.
We're moving you back to the waiting room. We're not going any further than that. Okay. Yeah, that was a wild thing to just say out loud. Bro. Okay, that was a really autistic debate. Immigrants are smarter than that guy? Yeah, I would assume so. Alright, dude. I got a warning. Saying unusual activity detect. Yeah, I know, because I'm streaming right now. Dude, I got a DM. I got a missed call. That's not, dude. No, that's not how you get. You don't get accepted into the server by spam calling me. Alright, I have to run out of people in the waiting room and then verify people. So 2 new members. Alright, let's view them. Well, this guy just like randomly called me, so I'm not verifying him because he's probably annoying. But this guy I'll verify. I don't. Alright, what the other. I am a YouTuber. Lol. I invited people to join on stream. Okay. All right, that's a good reason. All right. Somebody needs to join the whatchamacallit. Okay. Well, this is lame. This is very underwhelming. Join the waiting room. All right. Join the waiting room, everyone. Very important. All right, here. I'm gonna verify. I'm gonna verify some people. In the meantime, who is this? Did they join during a stream? No mutual servers. No profile pic. That looks sus as fuck. Okay. Join using the link in the description. Okay, what about this person? Okay, they, them pronouns. Oh wait, that's somebody that's in the main server. Verify. What about this person? IDK just got here. And they joined Discord in July. Dude, this like looks like an alt account. I don't know, dude. I'll give them a chance, just in case. They do have a PFP. This person looks gay. So, and they don't look like an alt account. So I'm gonna give them verified. Alright, let me go to the first page. Okay, there's no new people. Alright, what else do we do? Verify. One mutual friend. Who is this? Oh, okay. I think, yeah, I can give them verify. This person, sure. That person joined on 2 accounts. That's weird as fuck. I'm not verifying them. Yeah. No mutual servers. Man, y'all gotta fucking join the waiting room. This is like lame. Oh god. Oh wow. Alright. I'm glad I didn't show that on stream. Jesus fuck. That person's getting Actually, no. I'm not gonna ban them yet. I'm gonna troll them. Okay. They're like a... They look like they're like a fucking porn bot account or some shit, but there might be like some like Indian guy running it, so... You know. Well, this guy randomly, What is that? 511. Okay. Oh, to be fair, I think that was, Oh, wait, actually, I'm gonna verify them. Because I think that they did that call, or like they tried calling like right after that I removed the other person or whatever from the call. So, I think I just didn't like see that because like, I don't know, I just didn't see that I was, you know, I just like looked at my DMs. Anyways, let's see. Oh, there's another member. New member. Yay. Okay. Joined 7 years ago. Okay, this doesn't look like an alt. Verified. Congratulations. Join the waiting room. Bitches. He picks who he wants to debate based on their Discord profile. Look, I don't want to debate like alt accounts that are like, that joined like 2 seconds ago, alright? That's how people ban evade. Like if you look at like how many people are in the server and like scroll through all like the verified accounts, you'll see that like a majority of people are verified. It doesn't take much. It's basically just like a way of like weeding out like all the fucking like shitter accounts. Anyways. She wasn't insulting them or nothing. I think I did love you a few insults, to be fair. Pronouns are dependent on sex. Damn, that's crazy, Comrel. Would you like to get in the fucking server and debate me or some shit? Yeah, that's right. That's a thing you can do. It's an option. Hello. Hello. You're in the stream. Congratulations.
Yes, I see that.
Okay. What do you want to debate?
I don't know really.
Bruh. No idea? Do you disagree with me on anything? Is there anything you disagree with me on that we could have a convo about? You know. Hello?
The fact we throw out like word retard a lot.
Okay. Do you have like a better mic by chance, or is this the best mic you got? If it's the best you got, I'll tolerate it, but like it's pushing it in terms of mic quality.
This is the best I got. It's
Okay,
alright
fair
if
enough.
it's horrible.
Fair enough.
Enjoy-
We'll go for it. So you have a problem
No, I
with my
think
use
we're
of the
over.
word retard, I assume, is what you just said?
Yes.
Okay, what's your issue?
It just feels that it can be a bit immature, you throwing it around a lot.
Well, is my goal to be mature? Is that like my goal is to be like peak maturity, or is my goal to entertain people? What do you think?
I understand that your goal is to entertain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. So if my goal is to entertain, do you think that like being like a nothing but a mature adult is the best way to do that? Or do you think that
No,
like
of
maybe
course
talking more like the way that I would, you know, talking to a friend, but, you know, more performative in a way might be the better way of doing it?
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, I've heard people like try to like levy this as like a critique, but like it ultimately boils down to just like a gut feeling that it's like not something you're supposed to say. But I say things all the time that you're technically not supposed to say. You know, if this was the
Yeah.
family friendly, I only say things I'm allowed to channel, it wouldn't be the Femyoz channel, right?
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. So you disagree with me still, or do you sort of understand better now?
I think you made a good point.
Okay. Is there anything else you disagree on?
Don't think so.
You do or don't think so? I couldn't quite catch
I
that.
don't think so.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you. A short but
Hey,
sweet
you as
convo.
well.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Feel free to stay in the, or yeah, feel free to join back if you whatchamacallit. You know, if you come up with anything else. I'll put you back in the waiting room. If you don't have anything else, or if you, yeah, feel free to join the waiting room back if you know, have anything else to say. Anyways, have a good one. Okay. Hello.
Hey,
Hello. You're on the air.
how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you? What do you disagree with me on?
Yeah, I actually don't really disagree with you, like, pretty much at all. I
Oh.
really just want to call to kind of like, saying you're doing a great job. Like the sentience
you.
argument ocean thing is fantastic. Also, it was really it was a conversation I had with somebody that I mean, I'm probably giving myself too much credit, but I kind of like pulled them away from like the MAGA stuff a little bit with like common sense. And I think that we had a conversation about like where should, you know, trans prisoners go. And I was just curious what you think about that. Like, I think prisons should be massively reformed anyways, but just kind of hear your take on it being, you know, a trans person.
I'd say that the prison that corresponds with your gender identity, though I don't think that necessarily means that, like, it should be with the general pop. I think that if it's the case that somebody is LGBTQ, they're generally going to be at way higher risk if they're with the general population of the prison. So I do think that there should be extra precautions the way that there would be regardless. I don't think that I would fare particularly well in a male prison for obvious reasons. I don't think it would be humane for me to be forced to be there. You know, I don't think that rape is a justifiable consequence for, I don't know, tax fraud. I feel like if I was going to end up in prison, it'd be for some shit like tax fraud. So, you know.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I said too. I was telling him pretty much I don't think that any human being should be raped. Well, maybe a handful of people should be raped, but in general, people shouldn't be raped. And furthermore, oh, sorry, I turned the stream on by accident.
You're good.
But yeah, like, and I don't think, like you said, like tax fraud or any other, you know, I would say minor crimes, at least in my morality, deserves to be put towards something like that. And yeah, and furthermore, especially when you're already going through those processes of being trans, and then boom, you're in prison for, you know, whatever reason, and then you have this higher likelihood of being raped is crazy, you know. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. I keep thinking about it. I'll probably keep bringing it up to him until he eventually changes his mind, because he did a circular argument pretty much being like, well, then just don't go to prison, which I thought was very, very stupid, obviously. But
yeah, nobody
yeah.
chooses to go to prison. Like, people don't say, oh yeah, I want to go to prison tomorrow. That's on the agenda, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And even if it was the case that, like, oh, but like, you choose the consequences by committing the crime. Okay, well, the consequence shouldn't amount to you getting raped for tax fraud. Like, come on.
Yeah, yeah. Or
Yeah.
I even brought up like most, you know, crimes in general are property crimes, and I brought up like, you know, people doing theft or whatever the case may be to like because of hardships or even like drug related issues.
Drug related crimes. Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't get raped for smoking weed. Like, it's ridiculous, obviously. And I would make a similar argument in that case. And yeah, I would also, if they're like, I think that like in terms of like common sense positions as well, if they're like, I don't know, anti-trans or whatever, especially with bathroom discourse, always just bring up trans men. I don't know if you already do that, but that's what I do. It's like, so you think Buck Angel belongs in the women's restroom? Of course. Yeah, I belong in the men's restroom and Buck Angel belongs in the women's. And this makes a lot of sense. That's what women want, actually. On their behalf, obviously.
Yeah, it was weird. Because like I said, I've done a lot of work on this person, trying to change their mind, and I've done even research to even be like, I guess not only to defend myself and other people's, positions, but also like to change people that's close to me, and like I don't want to be a piece of shit. Excuse my language. But yeah, and that was just one of those things where I was like, damn, that's another thing I gotta try and knock down. And I just wanted to hear it from, again, just a trans person that has, probably those fears on like a daily basis,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Yup. Welcome to America.
Yeah, not very welcoming.
Correct. Yeah, welcome in quotation marks, of course.
Oh, by the way, that Christian dude, I assumed he was a Christian. That was just like,
Mike is muffled.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you better. You were like muffled.
Sorry about that.
You're good.
But the Christian guy that was like babbling about fucking nothing, he I couldn't. The only thing I could think about was just like, I bet you if you brought up slavery in the Bible and asked him if that was like a moral, permissible act, he would probably agree with that.
Well, yeah, he was probably going to agree with like a whole lot of shit. You're talking about the guy that was like saying, oh, well, in order for you to be okay with abortion, you have to first debunk the transcendental argument. No, you have to present the argument. I will refute whatever you present. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to present somebody else's argument for you and then debunk that. I have plenty of streams where I debunk other people's bad arguments all the time.
Yeah. But, that's
I wasn't gonna fall for the trap because, like, yeah, sure, I could like Google a summary of the transcendental argument to make sure I'm responding to it correctly, and just like go over each bullet point. That would be really boring. That wasn't gonna be fun. So I don't know.
Yeah, true. I just grab the lowest hanging fruit I possibly can. I'm like, oh yeah, well, slavery, and I just throw it at them,
Well, and I could do that, and that's like a very common thing, but it's like
it is.
It's not interesting if it's like a, I don't know. Maybe it could have been interesting because he was like a debate pedo type. And by the way, that's not the same thing as actual. Like, that doesn't make him a pet. Like, for anyone that's like not familiar with debate terminology, debate pedo means somebody that debates for the sake of debating, and that's all it really means. Like, they're so annoying about it that they're like a pedo. Like, I don't know how to explain it. But other than that, it's like, oh my god, like you're like not far from being a debate rapist. It's like a type of debate, bro, where it's like, okay, awesome. You just want to debate for the sake of it, which is fine, but it's like, why do that on stream?
Yeah, I think I mainly debate just to try and change people's minds, and of large majorities can't. I've accepted that over the years, but
yeah, and that's why I debate for the sake. I generally try to debate for the sake of the audience more so than the person that I'm debating. And granted, part of that is because I'm a streamer, but generally it's going to be a lot harder to convince the person you're talking to. And if you can, great, that's going to look really good for you and the audience, right? But generally, it's going to be a lot more important to focus on rhetorically and substantively winning over the audience, getting them to agree with you, than it is to convince one person that you might not be able to convince. You know what I mean? You win some.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's actually expansive for me, actually, because I think I focused on the one person and working with one person individually around people around me than I guess like a mass majority.
Okay. Yeah, like because the people around them are also gonna like slowly change their views if like they're having an influence on them, right? Like, oh, here's why I don't believe this shit anymore. right? And they'll be able to explain where their thought process changed. And somebody with a similar thought process is also going to have their thought process changed, right? So I mean, ideally, yeah, you can change their mind as well, but again, easier said than done.
I feel like that's kind of what happened with. Well, no, it was really more undeniable. I was going to say something kind of stupid. I was going to say like, maybe that's what had happened with the whole Israel-Palestine thing. It was just kind of undefeatable, and even the people that wasn't even in the know-how with it, it was kind of just you couldn't even argue against it at that point, and it caused that chain effect to have the mass disagreement with Israel that it is today.
Yeah. No, and like the thing is, like, also I gotta verify that person they just joined. Yeah, when it comes to, dude, I get so bored so easily of like Israel-Palestine debate because it's like, dude, like how many ways can I say that like it's bad that the IDF does genocide? No, you actually shouldn't be allowed to treat Palestinians as second-class citizens. No, a two-state solution doesn't work if, you have this thing
For
where
any human being, honestly.
What's that?
Or any human being, the way that Israel is treating Palestine.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, or saying, oh, well, Trump solved it. It's like, no, he just put it back to right before the conflict. So all of the same conditions that caused the conflict to occur in the first place. So nothing has changed.
Yeah.
But Trump didn't change anything. He like put like at best a temporary stop to some of the things, but like that's not particularly meaningful. He's doing it in a way that benefits Israel.
Yeah,
not
exactly.
The
Like,
Palestinians. He doesn't give a fuck
I mean,
about the
when we're talking about countries like within the UN, vocally going against Israel, and that's creating pressures for the states to do the same. It's like, and just for Trump to be like, okay, it's just peacetime, no repercussions for mass genocide. Like that is the best case scenario for Israel.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like a way of allowing people to not have consequences for their actions.
Exactly, yeah. Like they to say like Israel got slapping wrists would just not even be true in this like they didn't get any punishment or any repercussions for the harm and thousands of deaths they've caused.
Well, yeah, because they don't want consequences for their actions. It'd be pretty bad. Dude, someone said that's some racist stuff. Get in the server and tell me why I'm racist. I'd love to have that debate.
What's racist about that?
I don't know. I want them to explain it to me. I want them to join the server. I'll verify them instantly. Don't worry. And join the waiting room, and then I'll put you on the air. Because I'm verifying everyone that joins the server right now.
Well, I'm gonna let you get back at it. Keep kicking ass, as I know you do.
Hell yeah. I'm very tired, but I'm still kicking ass, I guess. Like, at 0.1% thinking power, I guess, somehow. I don't know. I don't even think of myself as like a particularly good debater. That's like the thing. I don't think I'm like that good at debate. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just like articulate sometimes.
I think you are articulate, but I think you use I think you're just I think you're an empathetic person overall. I think if you lead with your empathy and common sense and logic and go with actual study, then you'll always persevere.
I feel like I'm almost like the debate version of like a reality TV, like sort of like no bullshit sort of cuts past the bullshit straight to the point, but then like while they do in a very funny way, destroy the person's bullshit. They're also like they also have like a really soft side. I feel like that's like I think that's me when it comes to debate.
Yeah. I think you're very first of all, you're very polite. Like there's a lot of people that I follow and I love. They like are not that polite.
Yeah, I can be an asshole too if I need to be. Like I'm polite when people
I mean,
are
you stand
polite.
up for yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you was calling some people some retards. So yeah, but in general, I think you're relatively nice, and you're like,
Maybe compared to other
go in with
debaters.
good faith.
I feel like when I'm more active in debate, I become like less nice because it's just like repetitive and I get annoyed over having to like go slowly through like the same arguments over and over again. It's just like I lose the patience. It like weirdly makes me better in debate. It's in some ways and worse at debate in others. It's strange. I don't know. I just don't have the patience to be a consistent debater.
Yeah, no,
Maybe
I
sort of join
definitely get
yours.
that.
Fair. Remember, chat, the Femyoz, the call-in server is linked in the About section of my channel, as well as the description. Yeah, join it. I'll verify you. If you join right now, I'll put you in the... Oh, there's somebody in the waiting room. I'm going to invite them and then remove you. Thank you for coming on and have a nice day. All right, hello, you're on the air.
Hi.
What do you disagree with me on?
Nothing really. No, I saw the. Sorry, I've been seeing your streams a few times, and I saw the guy, like getting mad at you for using the word retard. And like, I don't know
Yeah.
why. Like, I mean, I got autism. I don't care. Like,
Yeah, same. I'm also autistic. If
yeah,
you didn't know.
yeah, yeah. Well, you know, I don't want to assume anything. You know.
Yeah, of
But,
course. Even though it's like
yes.
very obvious, it wouldn't really be much of a leap. I mean, come on. We all know
Yeah.
I'm autistic.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, the way I see it, I use the word for people that choose to be stupid. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Same. Like, I would never call somebody with Down syndrome
yeah,
that. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference.
yeah. I also agree with your opinions on abortion as well.
Hell yeah. Based?
Personally, I was a little personal, but I would have been, but I wasn't. I'm not going to go into that, but glad I wasn't, because like life is amazing. Being human's fun. So like, I feel like kind of removing that from someone. I know people don't choose to be born, but like if I had a choice between being born and not being born, I'd want to be born because it's so fun.
Right.
Just so
Interesting.
and
Sometimes I wish the opposite direction, but you know, to each
Yeah.
their own.
yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, it's everyone has as you said, to each their own. And the other thing that well, people get mad over like people will get when it comes to pronouns, people will like what's the word? Like they'll want to call people the pronouns that they don't want to be called. Like they'll make it an
They're
effort.
contrarian about it, yeah.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
contrarian.
It's so weird to me. Like
Yeah, it's like they have no Well, the interesting thing, and this is something that I've noticed, is like a lot of times when somebody doesn't want to like take like a full-on anti-trans position, they want to just like go like most of the way or like 75% of the way or whatever it may be. What they'll do is they'll refer to like a trans woman as like they them, but then like a non-binary person, they'll just, you know, say she, her, he, him, depending on what they look closer to.
yeah.
You know, and I find that very interesting. Because like, you know, you clearly don't have a problem using they them.
Yeah.
But suddenly now that there's a non-binary person, no, that's like so difficult to change my language, and it's like you just did it to be contrarian like a second ago. What are you yapping about? What are you saying?
Like I don't know, I just can't wrap my head around it. Like it's so much effort to just to do that like purposefully. And like it like I don't know, like to me like calling someone by the pronouns they want to be called, it's like yeah, I can do it. I'll do it. Like it's like what's the word? I'm trying to find the word. There's like no effort required to call someone the pronouns they want to be called. You know, you learn what their pronouns are and then you call them that. Like it's the same with a name, you know? You learn someone's name and then you call them by name. Like
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. People are just
People are very strange. I'm hoping
yeah.
that somebody that disagrees with me joins.
Oh,
Because I have
sorry for not disagreeing with you.
no, it's okay. What do you have a religious worldview that you'd be willing to debate?
No, I pretty much agree with you on that too.
Shit.
Shit. Hold on, maybe I can find something.
What do you are you in favor of market socialism by any chance, or not really? Are you against that? Are you in favor of or against market socialism?
Market socialism.
Syndicalism, market socialism. It's basically like it's like super democracy, where what it boils down to is you get to elect CEOs and managers, the people in positions of power that would, otherwise, be elected by, investors that don't have your best interest at heart. Let's be real, right? And what are your thoughts on that?
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I actually haven't heard about that before, but I like that actually.
Me too. I do too, and that's why I'm in favor of it.
I mean, a lot of CEOs are
Fucking
not the
evil.
best people. Yes.
Oh yes. Tell me about it.
I feel like if they were voted in by the people, which I hope that a large amount of people can distinguish a good CEO.
Well, yeah. It's the same as democracy in general. Like, it's going to be flawed. There's going to be corrupt people that make it to the top regardless. Take Trump, for example. Let's not kid ourselves. But it's better than an authoritarian regime. Look, the fact of the matter is you can vote democracy out. You can't vote it back in. And if you make a wrong decision at one point, you can correct that decision later unless they fundamentally alter the structure that is democracy itself. And at a corporate level, they wouldn't be able to do that in like a broader scale, right? Like if it's the case, and keep in mind, in terms of policies that I'd be in favor of that don't seem particularly unrealistic, even though market socialism sounds like it'd be far away, like something that I don't think would be like outside of the realm of possibility within my lifetime would be, I don't know, like heavily subsidizing worker cooperatives, right? Something like that. Like having like a strong social wealth fund, right? These are things that are achievable within my lifetime, I believe. So it's not like we have like an imaginary fucking communist utopia where it's like, yeah, like what if things were like different and they were like this society instead of this one? It's like, yeah, that'd be nice. How are we going to get there? Well, I'm in favor of something that is somewhere we can get. At least ideally. And sure, there's like a little bit of idealism to it. Like, yeah, ideally we get there. Do I think we're going to get there in the near future? No. Do I think it'll happen within my lifetime? Maybe. But I digress.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of CEOs I've seen are bad. I mean, let's not get into Roblox, at all.
Oh, yeah. What's that? You mean to tell me that like a greedy CEO that owns a company is like a supporter of pedophilia? Holy shit. No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I mean, like
Color me shocked. Where have I seen that before?
Yeah, it's almost like it's a pattern.
Whoa, it's like a pattern of behavior with these people. Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, we can pick up on patterns pretty well.
Also, why is my chat debating circumcision? What? People are debating circumcision and whether or not foreskin gives you superpowers. Okay, all right. This is great stuff.
Okay. Well, what's your view? Maybe we can disagree.
I think that circumcision is based because you can make like a foreskin sandwich, or like maybe you could like take the foreskin shavings and like turn it into seasoning to put on your pizza. You could do that. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do with foreskin. You could make like stretch it out and turn it into like a hat. You could turn it into a yarmulke. You could you could turn it into a glove. Warm your hand up.
Yeah. You could
Maybe you could hang it up on the fridge as a decoration.
You could
I want to debate religion. If you want to debate religion, Manta, join the Discord server. It's in the description. Femyoz Collins. If you're already in it and I haven't verified you, say what your Discord username is so I can just like search it if you like joined it a while ago or something. But it's the Collins server specifically. It's in the description. It's also in the about section. It'll be listed as Collins or some shit like that. I'm in there right now. Are you? Wait, is that you in the waiting room? Is that you? Oh yeah, that's you. Okay.
Oh, they were in
Sorry.
there before me.
All right. Yeah.
All right.
Well, they
Let's see
they were just like chilling.
Yeah.
They had joined it before and they were like, "Oh yeah, I don't disagree with you on anything." Anyways, have a good one.
I've been
Thanks,
holding
you
your
too.
waiting room hostage.
All right. Anyways, hello.
Shoot. Okay. So you know what? I'm just gonna let you go first on just the general broad topic, and then I'm going to see where we go from there.
So
For
you
religion.
wanted to debate me on religion?
I would
You
like
said
to
you-
hear your stance.
My stance is there could be a god, there could not be a god, but in terms of any organized religion, it's all just like a bunch of made up shit. That's my view.
Are you aware of any theories in the universe being fractal, like where it just continues going?
What do you mean by that? Like it's infinite? Or I'm
Like
not
it-
sure I follow.
We say basically in every direction things just kind of gain or lose complexity depending on which direction of scale you continue to move in.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about that.
Sorry, I'm bringing up these concepts in a fairly abstract and more philosophical way.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it. Like I guess like in terms of like how like we categorize something, right? Like I don't know, like you might categorize me as a person, right? But in reality, I'm actually like a big collection of flesh and bones and muscles. And if you break it down further, it becomes more complex. I think I get what you're
as
saying
things
there.
Continue. The universe does one thing, and the thing that it does is it continues to diversify in complexity with time, right?
Maybe. I don't know if it like the level of complexity. I mean, does it change over time? Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Probably to an extent.
But that's why the things, that's why you can go out and you can see, like, things will start repeating themselves. It's like, it's all just stuff.
What things repeat themselves? Because like I think that it also has to do with like, I mean, yeah, things are going to repeat themselves eventually, like inevitably, like statistically speaking, like something is going to like occur more than once
You know what? Here's a
over
good
like an
one. I
infinite
don't think
period
it's
of
impossible
time.
for humanity to stop making the same mistakes.
What do you mean?
I do not think that we are able as a species to overcome the obstacles in which we have with communicating with each other in order to fix any of the problems that we actually have.
Elaborate.
Basically, what I'm saying is that because there is always going to be a us versus them, no matter which way you try to describe it to the general populace, there is always going to be an in-group and there is always going to be an out-group in which one person will try to adhere themselves to.
That's true. I generally agree with that.
With the nature of this concept, is it ever going to stop turning into different arguments with time, or are we just going to continue bickering over things that are different throughout time? Or do you think that there's some kind of way for us to like, get there and like
I think
work through
eventually.
everything?
I think eventually, and this is purely just speculation on my end, so like take it with a grain of salt. But I think that generally over time, people are going to become less tribalistic. I do think that we're socially conditioned in a way to be tribalistic, but I also think
I think less tribalistic is a good way to but like what direction
Yeah.
that moves from here, because one thing I also wanted to bring up was the test scores with these younger generations and the comparisons in which we're getting with the levels of intelligence that we're starting to get out of the youth.
I'm not too familiar with IQ test scores for younger generations. I haven't really
And
looked into
I don't
it.
think I'm like talking necessarily like IQ test scores. I don't really use that as or I don't consider that a a very valuable
Sure.
measure of intelligence.
Like test scores in school, it's like how well they're doing in school
like
or
test scores,
education-wise.
just like generalized stuff that would like kind of give you a vague idea of like that, because that stuff isn't.
Are they
obviously
doing worse? Am I going to hear the boomer argument of they're doing worse? They're really bad and they're stupid because it's like the new generation.
Well, no, because I don't think that it's different, because they are
I know.
actually proving that in generalized subjects, these kids are getting worse at what they're doing.
I
and it's
generally
because their
agree with
attention
that.
spans
Yeah.
are worse. But that might have a very, there's a lot of varying effects that could have on greater society.
Yeah, I don't know, because like I've never had a very good attention span, but I've always been like generally like more capable than other people on average academically. Like I've always just like found shit easier as long as like I'm able to get myself to do it.
From data that I've read recently,
but I don't know. I don't
they're
know how it
saying
works with
that
other people.
Generation Z is like the cap line where instead of the generations getting smarter
Smarter,
than
they
the
get
generation
dumber.
before, we're actually starting to regress with these.
Yeah,
next...
that is kind of scary to think about. Yeah, because it's like
I think it's. I definitely think it's the tech. Another thing. What do you think about this? This opinion. Do you think that autism could be directly linked, or not directly linked, but could be a possible byproduct of humanity's consumption of media?
no, I don't think that that's.
So, and I'm not talking
it's not
digital. I'm
logically
talking like
impossible.
all the way back to drawing fucking cave paintings on the walls. Like, do you think that maybe conditions that are, or they're not, I don't think that they're conditions. I think they are different phenotypes that our species derivates into so that we can perform more specialized tasks in our niche environments.
Maybe to an extent.
Because in a lot of cases, sometimes this stuff can be very debilitating, but I feel like in some ways it may only be debilitating because of the nature of society rather than the...
No, because I don't think I would have fared particularly well before society. I think I'd be fucked. I would not make it.
Well, a lot of it's very possible that a lot of the people who were considered like religious figures and like shamans and like people who did religious stuff, a lot of those people were like, they verified that a lot of these people are schizo.
Oh yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. That really wouldn't surprise. I feel like I would have been like a I would have been like a successful fucking, I don't know, like I would have been like a political motherfucker or some shit. I would have been like the leader of some tribe or some shit. I could see that being the case. I don't know. Like if I'm like charismatic, and but to be fair, like me being charismatic to an extent or articulate, I guess, is in large part due to my upbringing. I don't think I would be if I had a different upbringing. I'm gonna be real. Maybe I would. I have no clue. I don't know.
I think that the DSM is a fairly inaccurate way of describing mental health. And I don't say this from the point that the data that they have collected is useless, but I think that it would be more useful to go from a genetics backwards approach, where you get a genetic profile of somebody and then figure out what that person may need. Instead of trying to put it into generalized categories that are conditions. So
maybe,
everybody
but
would have
I would do both. I wouldn't
personalized
do one or the
profile
other.
that is them. And it's not this like generalization, because I feel like these generalizations are more harmful than beneficial.
Sure, but I would also argue that like making a statement about like what somebody is like or what would work for them just based on like their genetic profile. I mean, sure, like maybe that like might give you like an idea of like the general direction.
Well, yeah,
you'd
also have to keep in. Sorry for interrupting. You'd also have to keep in factors like upbringing, diet, or like prior diet, like other stuff. But you'd be able to.
Well, I think you should also bring in like how do they respond,
like read this kind of stuff. So.
Well, I also think that it should be like, okay, well, how do they respond to this type of engagement and like modifying it accordingly, right? Because like, obviously, if it doesn't work, if they're not receptive to it, whatever it may be, you obviously wouldn't want to keep doing the same shit over and over again just because their genetic profile plus other variables, if it's like not working for them. A lot of it does boil down to trial and error, and I think that's one of the reasons why we have like such like general vague ideas of what maybe we should do with like a list of things to try that are like more likely to work with trial and error. And the reason for that is because like at the end of the day, we just don't know, you know, we don't know.
Oh yeah,
I don't
I
know
think I see something
if
with that Candace here. They figured out that a lot of conditions like here's a good example. Conditions like autism, ADHD, POTS, and other connective tissue disorders, they lie on the same chromosome.
Interesting. I think that maybe that would be useful for predicting what conditions people will have, but I also don't think that it would be able to be any more specific than we already are. I don't know. Maybe one day it could be, but like I don't foresee that happening in the
What are your
anywhere close to the
opinions
near
on
future.
using technology like CRISPR to modify people so that
I'm
they
in
can
favor.
become more like
I'm in favor of it. I'm in favor of it, but it has to be done right. It has to be done correctly.
Yeah,
It can't
'cause
be
if
like
it's done
it can't
wrong,
be
it's like a
it can't be like a dystopian fucking if you're, you know, upper class, then you have the right to that. It has to be something that's provided equally, so it doesn't create like a disparity in wealth that's even greater, right? It can't be something that.
So you're bringing up the Super Olympics paradox with that.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
because like at the end of the day, what you end up with
You know,
is
if they started the superhuman Olympics, they'd end up accidentally creating a race of superhuman people that would, in all
Yeah.
regards, be more powerful than the average person.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Well,
you wouldn't
because
want to do that.
well, yeah, well, and the reason that this would be bad if it's like oh, this is like costs a bunch of money type of thing, where it's like only rich people can have that, is you'd have two things. You'd have somebody that's you know gonna have just like have genetic variables that make them
DNA
more
is
intelligent on
less like a
average.
blueprint.
Well, hold on. It would
I'm
make them
sorry,
more
I'm responding
intelligent
to
on
a-
average. It would make them live longer on average, and they would also have generational wealth. So this would create like an even bigger advantage for those that are in power, and it would create an even bigger disadvantage for those of us who aren't. Right, and that would be the only possible like reason that I'd be against it. Other than that, I wouldn't have a problem with it.
I can see how, yeah, you would have fears for the use of it by
But the problem isn't
regime that would
CRISPR.
want the public to be.
Yeah, but the problem isn't CRISPR. That the problem is capitalism.
No,
It's
that
it's for
makes
the
total
same.
sense.
It's the same
not
reason that
it's
I.
not the tool-
It's
no,
the same
tools are
reason that
never
I
the problem,
criticize
it's the people
AI.
who are holding them.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same reason I criticize AI. It's not
It's the same,
because
that's the same reason that I don't think that gun control is a good thing to do right now. Honestly, I think that right now we're in a state of turmoil where we need to keep this shit, and that
True.
we should still keep this stuff. We need to make it. We need to educate people so
On
that
how to
we
use
no
guns.
longer need to have people dying in schools, but
Mhm.
we don't need to be, I think, removing them outright, because defending ourselves is still important, especially because there
Correct.
will always be.
especially if you're a tranny. Like, I'm
There,
sorry, it's
yes,
like a
exactly.
fact.
There will always be somebody who is trying to get at you, and it doesn't matter where you are, who you are,
Mm-hmm.
or
Facts.
what you align with. This is a hostile place,
True.
and the only thing that we have is each other.
True. I don't think that we're gonna have any disagreement on that. I thought you were gonna like come in here like defending like some like religious worldview, but
See, I before I came in here, I was thinking I was gonna come in here and like pretend like I was one of the people from the town that I grew up in, and I thought it was gonna work, but I just couldn't disalign from my values in an
I
argument.
wouldn't have fallen for it. I'm not gonna lie. I would be like, "Are you doing like weird debate pedo shit?" And like you would have admitted it. I guarantee you. You'd been like, "Yeah, I'm doing like retarded debate shit," and I've been like, "Okay."
And that's why I
Interesting.
decided to pivot towards something a little bit more generalized and like kind of up in the air on both sides.
Yeah, fair.
I like to get into the arguments about or debates about things that aren't necessarily very political, but are more like ethical.
Hmm. Yeah, go on. Speaking of ethics, it is a net positive, according to my utilitarian worldview, if you accept the invite to my epic community Discord server, because you're like cool and you seem very gay. You seem like you're one of them homosexuals.
I've known you for a while.
Why aren't you in the server?
I met you through Blush.
Wait, what?
I met you through Blush.
Oh shit! I have not, dude. I forgot
I've been
about,
following
dude. She
you
is.
around for a little bit. I just don't say anything.
Oh. Okay, wait. You met me through Blush, dude. I haven't talked to her in a while. How's she doing?
Pretty good. I talk to her like every day.
Oh, good shit. Good shit. Join the server, or else
Good.
you're gay. Well, to be fair, you're gay anyway. But you're like more extra gay. So you don't join.
I actually say that I'm fairly conservative for somebody who's as gay as I am.
You're like only like a market socialist instead
I'm
of
like
a communist.
We should return to monkey kind of conservative, not the.
Oh, you're like the anarchist.
I'm like a primalist.
Okay. All right.
I think that all of this stuff is really stupid, and I want to do the hippie thing where we all go out into the woods and do psychedelic drugs and chant in circles.
You know, I don't blame you for that. That's just kind of based.
Like,
That's
if we're
not a
gonna go
conservative
destroy the
position, though.
stars,
That's
we're
just
gonna
like
wipe
a.
ourselves out. Why don't we just
It's not
have
even a
fun on this stupid little rock until it burns up?
To be fair, that's like a leftist position. Having fun is leftist. Okay. Conservatives want you to be miserable and bored.
No, they want me to work for the rest. No, I'm definitely. I
True.
wouldn't consider myself anti-work because anti-work is useless. I would say that it's better to say that we should be putting ourselves in positions where we can enjoy our occupations instead of fucking hating them.
It's true, but yeah, obviously we don't live in that society, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately. Well, no, you can still try. But that's what I think.
It's like
That's
what
what I
I'm
think
doing
America
with
should be
YouTube.
for. That's what I think this
Agreed.
country should be about. It should be it should be about the goofy propaganda thing, not the ruse of the goofy propaganda thing not actually existing and then pulling it out from under your feet so that the real people who are doing the cool shit can go do the cool shit.
Yeah.
And it's not really cool shit. It's terrifying, inhumane garbage shit that causes suffering and pain.
Yeah. No, honestly, it'd be like that. Also, I'm gonna verify. Dude, not all of the fucking shitters. Not shitters. Okay, that's like mean, but not all the people that like wanted to debate me joining the main the community server. Are you fucking kidding? These people. Oh my god. I don't want like weird conservatives in the server.
A lot of just like political stuff right now is a lot of people are more focused on the whole. How do I convince the other person that I'm right? When in reality, the thing that we need to be doing is figuring out how we can find common ground about things until we can find a common ground.
Yeah, fair. Also, I don't know how much longer I want to stream for. That's one of the reasons I invited you to the servers, because like I wanna do like a community VC, because I'm getting like, I'm kind of eepy, you know. It's like I haven't slept and it's like almost 6 a.m. for me, you know. It's one of those days. What about you?
And
Are
also,
you
now
eepy?
that I've managed to get in here, do you think that milk is that eggs is dairy?
I don't know. No.
Eggs comes in carton at the grocery store and is from livestock animal. Is eggs dairy?
No.
Or is eggs
I don't
meat?
think so. Neither. Or no, it'd
Or
be
is
dairy.
eggs poultry?
Poultry? Question mark. I don't know. I'm retarded. Would it be classified as meat? It either I don't know.
I'm like, are eggs dairy? Do you?
It's poultry. It's poultry. Someone in chat is saying it's poultry, and I agree with them because they're probably right.
Oh, I'm gonna die on my hill saying that eggs are dairy.
Also, somebody in chat says dominant women keep calling me adorable and flirting with me. Oh God, that sounds
crazy.
horrible. what caused those circumstances? What caused your material conditions to align in such a way that would cause this, so that I can avoid it at all costs? My voice, they say. I'll be sure to avoid doing extra voice training or something. I don't know. What does your voice sound
Every
like? So I
straight
can.
man is gay for Digbar. Change my mind.
And then I'm cute apparently. Okay, what does your voice sound like so that I can sound like anything but that in order to avoid recreating the material conditions in which you have found yourself in this situation? I want dominant women to call me cute. Parentheses, I am a woman. Yo, same. I mean, what? I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I'm not gonna say anything.
RJ, I want to know
Okay,
your
apparent-
opinion. What do you think? Is eggs dairy?
I don't think it is. I think it's poultry. Because that's what somebody in chat said, so I agree with them.
They're just gonna keep going.
And they sound like they're probably correct. Apparently, okay, you sound like a cute puppy girl or anime girl. Dude, I gotta learn how to do an anime girl voice. And then maybe more, dude. I need
Honestly,
to start.
I've just been voice training off Penelope Scott.
Damn. I don't know who that is, but I've been too late. Dude, I haven't really focused on voice training in a while. I need to, like, I don't know, focus more on it. I can sound like a baby. If that's so. Okay, but can you sound like the rapper Da Baby? Can you sound like him? That's the real question.
Pull up. Then I pull up like when I fill him with the venom and eliminate him. Other words, I made him. I don't want to hurt him, but I did.
What the fuck? Jesus Christ! I did not expect that. That came out of nowhere.
No, never expect anything. Expect the unexpected.
You unexpected? What else? What else should I know about you? That's unexpected.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
That doesn't give me much of an answer. Oh, you didn't have to do voice training? You were always just like that? Damn. Must be nice. Must be fucking nice. Anyways, sorry I was responding to chat.
I guess they call it the sophomore slump. Always crying and always drunk.
What are your thoughts
Probably
on
shouldn't be
cock and
singing on
ball
your
torture?
stream. That's probably copyrighted.
No, it's fine. Dude, what are your thoughts on cock and ball torture? Do you support cock and ball torture utilitarianism?
Cock and ball torture on Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia.
Let's go! Also, apparently I'm a good girl who is head patable. Damn. You know, I don't know. I allegedly, people have said the same thing about me. I don't know why. You know, it could be anything. But, I don't know. I haven't seen anyone say that this stream, to be fair. But I mean, it's a debate stream, so, you know.
You know what? Do you have a Teespring store yet, Fem?
Oh, what now?
I should help you set up a Teespring shop.
I think I did, but like, I don't know, like some of the designs were like fucked, like when they actually shipped, so I'm like,
Yeah, no, everything that they sell is absolute utter dog shit garbage.
Yeah. Femyoz had patable confirmed. It was alleged.
If you ever want to buy a hoodie that'll disintegrate in your dryer, go to teespring.com.
Yo, true. But yeah. Confirms? No, I'm not I don't know what you mean. What do you... Prove that I'm head-patable right now. You won't. You won't. That's right. That's what I thought, chat. Yeah. I got your ass.
I like how this Yoshi person is absolutely just fucking hellbent on my whole eggs argument.
Yeah, they're still going.
Like I really struck a nerve with that one.
Yes, you did.
It isn't a useful piece of argument. It is a rage bait topic.
Oh, I know, and that's, dude, I'm too tired to engage with your rage bait topic, so I didn't. I just didn't.
Well, if you said that you're tired, I can disembark so that you can end credits yourself.
Yeah. Oh, chat, why am I so eepy? I'm so eepy. Oh, oh, she left. Wait, what? Why did she leave? Sorry, I'm like super eepy. I'm not gonna lie. Oh? Huh? Wait, what were the boosts spent on? Huh? Wait, why didn't I... What? No, my server had 4 boosts. Well, that's weird. That's weird as fuck. Wait, how did it go from 4 to 2? That's weird as fuck. Okay. I guess I lost 2 server boosts for no reason. Okay. I don't... How does that even happen? They weren't spent on anything. Thanks, Discord, for scamming me, I guess. Or scamming my audience, really. Fuck. Okay. Anyways, I love y'all. Bye. We'll do a server VC. Why not? I'm tired. I don't know how much energy I can bring to the table. Love y'all. Bye-bye.